This episode of Speakers of Heidland is made possible by our generous patrons. Special thanks to our supreme and master speakers, Circa Barakeel, Remy Asalia, Saray Cypher, Omeji Cat Comet, Erisu Yamakawa, Arcadia Lunashine, Nina Grimstarter, Casey Schaefer, Daimoth, Cicera Fulilirafu, Lily Black, Hans Grenade, Sapa Chakwatol, Asuta Starbreeze, Faris Gentoru, Cletus Oreo, Quick Levin, Sayuri Snowfall, Lucalian Atrell, Stella Bell, Cirrus, Icy Lee, Luria Rain, Pamela Isley, Umbral Wind, Naive Arano, Celeste Raskris, Elenriel Maximus, Edwin, Bob CC, Fabson, Voidworm, Raimi Maverick, Code Red No, Mira Miri, Winebow Brood, Bay Barbalay, Kaisa Regina, Uzora Akari, AJ Brainswordson, and Suno Shikano. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/SpeakersXIV. Thank you.
This is Speakers of Heidland.
Good evening, Aorcians. Welcome to Speakers of Heidland, episode 205 XL. I'm Lukiel Bravestone, and I'm joined today by Georgi Wiston and Rollo Dez. Woo! Hello, everyone. Big episode, XL, because Live Letter Part LIX, as I like to call it. Live Letter Part 59 happened just a few days ago. We're also 10 live letters away from 69. That's nice. We will, of course, yes?
By the way,
yes,
who
sir.
is this stranger on the right side of screen?
Oh, yeah, I don't. There's no name.
Oh, you don't have a nameplate, Rollo. Where did your nameplate go? It's there. It's there. But it's also not.
No. I got this. Hold on. Wait. No.
There. Oh, there you go, Rollo. Sorry. There. Okay. Are you gonna make one? Is that what you're?
Yeah.
All right.
Look.
Let's
see?
do this.
Can't even see it. This is my name.
There you go, Rollo. I fixed it.
Thank you.
All right. So today we're going to talk about the live letter. We're going to discuss everything. We're going to break it down. We're also going to watch the trailer. We're going to analyze the frick out of it. But that's not all. We have 3 major interviews post live letter, which has a lot of information, additional information about the upcoming patch 5.3. This, of course, being an XL episode, means that we will not have a post-show today. That's unfortunate. So if you've sent a question, if you're a patron and you've sent a question from the Syndicate, that will be, we'll just save them for next week. I do know, though, that there is one Syndicate member that has, their birthday is today. AJ. Happy birthday, AJ. I'm going to play... since we can't do this in questions from the Syndicate, I'm going to do it now. Because it's tradition.
Oh, wow.
Oh, God. What have I done? What have I unleashed? What have I unleashed here? I wasn't ready. Happy birthday, AJ. Now we have to sit here in silence while this plays. Yay! All right. Enough of that. We have additional channel updates. The 1.0 Patreon stream was moved because I forgot about the cabin that was happening. So that's on Tuesday, July 28th. Check pinned comment in the Patreon chat if you haven't already. And of course, last reminder that the movie night is on Thursday, July 30th. You can still send in suggestions for movies. I will send out the poll on Monday. So Monday's the last chance. No, Sunday will be your last chance to suggest movies. All right, what have we done this week in 14? Who wants to start? We started with Rollo last time. Georgi, what have you done?
Well, I did the same thing that I think everyone here has done, in that we finally cleared Hades.
Yay!
A patch, and
Yeah.
like several months after it was relevant. But
Yeah.
still, we did it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We did it eventually. It only
Yeah.
took 2 stacks of the buff. Whatever.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about how many Echo stacks we had, but
I think we had 2. I don't
yeah,
know.
we probably did. I think that means are we done now with the Shadowbringers extremes? No, because we haven't
Varys
done
left.
Varys. That's true.
Yeah.
Rollo, anything of note?
Not too much, honestly. I've been getting back more into the game, I guess, now that I have time to do stuff now.
Right.
But I think my goal now is to get every job to at least 70, so then I can maybe just fuck around with them and the bosses it all whenever that comes out, and just use that for leveling, because I still have like a couple jobs to level on each character.
Yeah.
So 71. Sorry, 71, not 70.
Right.
Excuse me.
Right. Okay. I haven't done much other than the stuff that's done on stream. Roulettes, and of course clearing the thing, Hades. Okay, we don't have time for this actually, so let's just jump into recent events. And we do have. I love that after I turned Rollo's nameplate on, it's not doing the animation anymore. It is just done. Yeah. In recent events, so there's a new Final Fantasy XIV remix album coming out. Pulse pre-order is now available. The album will be released on September 30th. It's basically dance music, EDM, just remixes of 14 tracks.
Cool.
Some of the songs, I Am the Sea, very random, but why not? Oblivion, of course, Equilibrium, Rise, Beneath Dark Waters. There's many good ones, good tracks in here. So
I will say, I'm really excited about this. I love dance remixes of things. I don't like that they picked so many like songs with lyrics. I think I would have preferred more songs that didn't have lyrics.
I can see that, yeah.
Maybe they'll just do Oblivion, but without the lyrics. That's it.
Oh, they've already teased. There's the trailer already, and there's definitely the lyrics version.
Is Oblivion in the trailer? I don't remember it.
Oh, you know what? Maybe I'm mixing it with Sophia. I might be mixing it with Equilibrium.
Equilibrium is in the trailer.
Yeah. Okay, so go get that if you want. It's on the Square Enix store. Pre-order now, available September 30th. Also, Omega M+F Statue available on January 23rd, 2021. I think you can pre-order now. It's 25,300 yen. About 230
bucks.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. 234 US dollars. Okay. It's very pretty looking.
Would you guys get it?
No.
Money aside, just let's say you could just have it.
The problem is that I don't have anywhere to put this, to display this.
I would get it. Likely kill, I have nowhere to put it. But I'd still get it in hope that one day I do have somewhere to put it.
Yeah, I probably
years
would.
From now, when you have a nice house.
Yeah, if I could just, I always want to like justify like the cost. This is like very difficult to justify getting.
You have to get the very specific IKEA display shelf that everyone who buys anime figures, everyone gets this fucking shelf.
Yeah.
This glass pane thing.
Yeah.
Put LED lights in it. Go for it.
Yeah. Yes, so you can get it. Pre-orders available now. It'll release on January 23rd, 2021. Go get it. Now, main story. Boy, oh boy. What a main story indeed. Live letter LIX. I'm coining that now. Live letter LIX. This is the big
There's
one.
many lickable people in this patch, so I think
yes.
that's good.
Yeah. Reflections in Crystal, special. I think we traditionally just start by analyzing the trailer. So I think that's what we will do. Now, I realized just before, again, we went live that last time when we had actual big technical difficulties, I panic deleted everything. Like, I deleted scenes. So, again, we don't have a screen share where our frames are visible. So, it's just going to be the trailer, basically.
Yeah.
It's just going to be the trailer. So, let's just look at it, and then we can just switch back and forth between the video and this frame. Okay, let's go. This is the trailer. Whew. Good old Peggy over there. Okay. So we will just have to like stop. Let's just start here.
Okay.
Let's just start here. Why not? What is happening here?
I was gonna say there was a star shower, but it happens later. Never mind.
Yeah. So this is something else. Are we? It looks like the top of the crystal tower is like. Are they connecting? Is this something coming out of it, or this?
Graha finally gathered some energy.
Yeah, because remember that's what the purpose of the crystal tower is originally.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that's what's happening here. That it's like gathering. Wait, are the particles going in or out? They're going out.
Oh.
Ooh.
Also, it kind of looks like that's the end of the animation, so it's done. Because it. Okay. I don't know what this means. This might just look pretty. This might not. No.
You know what it is, Lukiel?
What?
It's the shot you see after Graha dies. His energy disperses, and I don't know.
Oh no.
God. It's like when Louis Suave spoilers. Louis Suave dies, and
spoilers.
People are gonna complain when he dies, and all the particles, like the restoration particles, remember from when he becomes the Phoenix, like rains down on Eorzea. Okay. Okay, so now we're back at it again. In the trailer now. No, I'm sorry, in the dungeon now, presumably.
It looks like there's a star shower happening, by the way.
Yes. So here are the
I think.
Yeah, go on.
I think in all the scenes of the Hero's Gauntlet, there's a star shower occurring. So yeah, it's probably during the dungeon.
Yes.
Yours is a long road, my friend.
Okay, so.
You see those little phantoms he was fighting? They look
yes.
pretty cool.
These like white glowing things.
I don't know what that is at the bottom right though. Those little short men.
Oh yeah,
They're
like Fwath.
They're Fwath. Yeah, they're definitely Fwath.
Oh, they are. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so we now know that it's not just like a dungeon thing. This is happening like actually.
This is in Yulmore.
All over. Probably. Yeah, this is in Yulmore, which is pretty far away from Lakeland and Ilmeg. Okay, so again, we had a better look at these specters, or whatever they are, these white glowing things. What do you think they are?
That's the Paladin AF armor, by the way.
Oh,
for the Shadowbringers.
It is, yeah.
So, it's Warriors of Light, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
would say they're Warriors of Light.
Yeah, because there's a shot coming up later where they kind of come out of the sky through like well, we'll get to it. Also, we didn't point this out when we saw this boss. Oh god, this is so rapid. This boss initially, but there have been some theories going around that there might be some more to this boss than we might have thought. Because I mean, they even get a minion.
Yeah.
So they
It's
might.
like,
Yeah, go on.
maybe it was just me, but it felt like they implied in some other images or trailers that this was like the mid boss in the dungeon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's the mid boss.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she has a mask on. Well, she's not wearing it, but it's above her head.
Yeah, there's a mask above her head. There's also her staff. Apparently, like the tip of it has like similarities to one of the Zodiac. What are they called? Whatever the masks are based on. I can never remember the 12 thing.
Oh, the Asians?
Yeah. The you know the red mask that they can sometimes summon above their head. Yeah. I cannot remember right now. I remembered right before we went live what the community theory is that symbol is for, but does anyone remember? Is it Metron? Metron, is that what it is? I think it might be. Yeah. So that's interesting. This might be.
Okay, so chat's confirming it's Metron.
Metron. Okay.
Another star shower.
Another star shower.
Wait, is that?
Oh, wait, go back.
Yeah.
Go back a little tiny, right there. Right
Oh,
there.
wait,
You see the thumbnail?
sorry.
Aren't those the same sigils you see when Graha summons the Warriors of Light when you're fighting Zodiac? Sorry, not Zodiac.
Yes.
Sorry.
Oh.
Hades.
Yeah.
When he's like, come to me, Warriors of Light. Is that not the same, right?
Yeah,
They look very similar.
It's very strange because we see these again later in the trailer, but in a very different setting. So
Where are we in this? In this, when this is happening?
This looks like.
Wait, this almost looks like what's that Bosnian place? Sorry, the one with the worm with the fucking didgeridoo.
yeah, Gangos.
Is it Gangos?
No, I think this is Lakeland.
Lakeland.
I think I recognize the blue covering. Yeah, I think the canopy. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we'll get back to that.
Is that?
So we're okay. Yeah. Oriange's telling us something.
And there may come a day when you forget the faces and voices of those you have met.
Okay. All right.
Who is that?
Athlodius, maybe.
Maybe.
Could be.
That's what it's the only other like named fucking Ascian we really know, or not Ascian. What are they called? A Moritine.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Vanar.
Could be Vanilla,
yeah.
maybe.
Of those you have met along the way.
So here's the boss. I'm thinking, is that just a generic boss? I don't know. I mean,
Oh, he has a cool model though.
look how scary he is. Good lord.
Looks like he was doing that Dark Knight Unleash animation too. So
Yeah.
he's a strong boy.
Yeah. Okay, so we know that this is Bozja. This is not
Yep.
MSQ, but looks pretty cool.
Yes.
Oh, that big drill
Okay,
tank is on your side.
this is what I was talking about.
That's a dragoon.
Yeah.
That's
But it looks like he's coming out of the sky.
Yeah.
So
these are not very nice warriors of light, I think.
are the almost makes me like what
Someone said Halone. Oh man. Imagine that.
oh my god, what if they were the 12? That would be
The 12 on the first.
that would make no sense. Well, I mean
Anything can happen. What's the matter?
yeah. They
Oh no, that's the blimp they use from the honey.
Yeah.
After you,
Yeah.
the honey, my fast travel. No.
No.
Excellent.
Okay. All right. So here's the. Is there anything actually I haven't? Is there anything in between here in these flashes? No. Ooh.
Lots of negatives.
Yeah.
I had intended to speak with you alone.
Oh, ladder climbing animation, by the way.
This ladder,
This is
dude.
the first-
I want to see a Lalafell climb this ladder.
Yeah. None of the Eorzean races can use that ladder normally. That is the gap. There's too much of a
But maybe-
gap between the.
Maybe it has to be that big so everyone can use it. Where like,
Yeah.
you got like fucking Rogadins and like top male. They'll get through it quick, you know. But
Maybe they
little
didn't have
babies.
enough wood. That's a good point. Maybe they. Yeah. That's probably they spent it all. Yeah.
Plenty of metal and steel, but not enough wood.
Exactly. All right.
Drawn your strength from such a cacophony of voices.
Okay. God, there's a lot. There's just so much to unpack in all of this. So let's just focus on this first. What are we fighting here again? What is this shit?
I guess that's definitely part of the Bosnian's resistance.
Yeah, but
yeah.
if this is Garlean, the fuck?
Well, didn't they talk about using primals or something? They're like,
Well, they've also been creating more like organic, like beings as well.
Yeah.
Like most of the bosses in Castrum, Albania.
Yeah. That's true.
one of the leaders is a Beastmaster. Oh,
Maybe
okay.
they've made like an icon themselves. Yeah, who knows? Oh yeah. Also, yeah, we mustn't forget. Yeah, the evilest thing is still a theme, I guess, in the Boston stuff. So this might be a 12 Esper. This is a
I don't
Dramalek.
think it's- yeah.
Okay,
Let's look that up because I don't think it's,
a Dramalek.
uh,
Let's double check.
that is from Tovia. Okay. He is an optional Esper.
Oh yeah, that's definitely him. Yeah. Okay.
And actually, yeah.
He.
It's possible that
Yeah.
a Dramalek will be the Pazuzu of the Southern Front.
Possible. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Next
Having
part.
drawn your strength from such a cacophony of voices, can you truly be sure you still speak with your own?
So we need to isolate what she just said there. Like, what is she talking about here? I remember
is
we
she
were
talking
asking.
to?
Yeah, who is she talking to?
I think to us.
Are you sure?
Play it one more time just to make sure I
Yeah.
understood what she said. But
Having drawn your strength from such a cacophony of voices, can you truly be sure you still speak with your own?
to us, or a little bit.
Yeah, it could just be Elidibus that she's talking to, because he.
Having drawn your strength from such a cacophony of voices, can you truly be sure you still speak with your own?
It makes me think of the first time we got into when we first started trying the Shadowbringers, and you're traveling through the fucking time, and you see all the faces of everybody.
Yeah.
Like maybe,
Yeah.
like, I mean,
Well,
that's
remember,
small thing.
take note of where she's standing.
Yes.
She's definitely in Amarot. Or an
Could be an anamnesis.
Well, oh yeah, that's true. Well, I didn't mean like an Emma, like you know what I mean. It could be anywhere in the old world that we know.
Yes.
I'm going by the lamps, of course.
Yes, the lamps are of the style of Emerald.
Yeah. I don't know if these lamps show up in. They do. They
do.
show up in
They
all
do
of
appear
the
in-
anything related to Amarot. But that's where we last left her. She was at the databanks thing. So.
A part of me also wonders maybe she's speaking to Vanar.
Ooh. Yeah.
Hide one.
So listening says, yeah. This is a bit of a mystery, but yeah, they might also be throwing us off. This line might not even be from here. They do this in the trailers where they just show her like randomly flip, like mouth moving, and then she's actually not saying this at all here.
Having drawn your strength from such a
Okay. Well,
little baby.
little baby. This is from the.
Orlet.
Yeah.
No, is that what the?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's
Sorrows of
Whirlet.
Whirlet.
Yes.
cacophony of voices.
Who's this?
Angry.
Isn't that her again? But who is she?
She's standing in front of someone.
I want to say Regula too, but I don't think that's Regula.
Regula has like a power button on his helmet, and I can't really see it.
Hold on. I'm gonna pull up an image of Regula real quick.
It could be just a. It could just be a echo.
It could, yeah. This could be from the past.
No, that's not Regula, because Regula has he has a circle like a.
Yeah,
on
it's like
the
circle.
top.
Yeah, I was thinking Nail myself, but
The halo, right?
but I struggle with because Nails. These look more like dragon. Like these aren't shaped the way Nail's helmet is. They've got more like if this was Nail, they would go more down. Like they point downwards.
Maybe it's a young Gaius before he got his other armor.
It's very tall.
I don't know. It's just a hunch.
I think this might be just a new Legatus that we haven't met yet.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, there has to be a Legatus in charge of this project.
Exactly. Yeah. So that could be him or her. Okay.
Of voices. Can you truly be sure you still speak with your
What's he so angry about?
He angry.
Probably about more of his orphans dying.
Where is he?
Is
this just
Doma?
Yeah. I want to say Doma.
Doma?
speak?
Well, the roof style in the background matches Doman.
The lamps don't.
He just found out about sex.
You still speak with your
We could be somewhere like Castrum Fluminus that would have both styles, because there's like a mixture of Garland.
Oh
and
yeah,
Doman
that's true.
architecture here.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it could be the Enclave, because there's a mixture of both of them there as well, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
with your own.
Well, guys, man,
This is just Gundam. It is. At first, they were like, yeah, new types,
yeah.
mechs. They're very like. This is so on the nose.
Yeah.
I mean, this is fucking. They do one pose in the mech, which is ripped straight from Gundam.
Yeah.
Like the one where you like this part.
Yeah.
This is straight from fucking Gundam. Look, it even has the fucking lines. It's just Gundam.
Oh God.
Hey, Rex.
Yeah.
Oh, I think his name is Rex. He's the one that's going to be inside Sapphire Weapon.
Yep. And there we are fighting it.
Yeah. I didn't
like
think we're
regular.
actually gonna get in the mech.
What? What did you say, Rollo?
I said I didn't think we're actually gonna get in the mech. I was kind of joking. Said that before, but I guess we actually are gonna pilot it, huh?
Yeah. Yes, we definitely
Why didn't
are.
you think we were going to get in the mech?
Because I thought it'd be like, no, that'd be so. They wouldn't do that, and then
They said they were doing a really cool thing with the instance for Whirlet, so
I am glad we got to fight this weapon. Kind of in like it's a fitting way, because again, 7, we never really got to fight it. It just got fucking killed before it got anywhere. And there it is.
Like it's in the Ruby Sea.
Yeah, it probably is. Okay, they give us the
there it
shortest
is.
glimpse of flying.
This part.
They just show this. We're like barely hovering, but it still looks incredibly strange.
It's awesome.
It feels so wrong.
Yeah.
But God, does it also feel so right?
Feels like hacking. Someone's hacking the client.
Yeah.
I won't let you go alone.
Oh yeah, here's the nope.
Nope. I won't let you go alone.
Okay, so Crust has already started to...
crusty.
Yeah, he's becoming crusty.
Crust levels increasing.
Yeah. Something very interesting is about to happen.
Not this time.
Okay, first of all, this.
More of those warriors of light.
Yeah.
Some of these armors, by the way, are they're interesting because they're not just artifact armors. You see, there's the Genji armor on the right. There's all the way on the left. I think that's a cash shop item, isn't it? A Monk Station item, the Far Eastern lore,
Yeah.
something like that.
Well, that truly represents warriors of light. Then, doesn't it?
Yeah. So these are just other warriors of light, I guess.
Chat saying that we have an RP section as Graha. I really want
Oh.
that.
Yeah. All right. Here's the near stuff. Burning Village.
Mm.
We know what kind of...
The Gogs.
Yeah. We see the people on the rock in the distance from...
Oh, I just noticed actually they have the battle androids out there, which you wouldn't have seen because you didn't get to that part.
Oh, yeah. Right.
They're in white though, which is weird because they're supposed to be in black. I didn't think they're gonna put that in the game, so I hope that's like armor we can actually use eventually.
Ooh. Okay, yeah. We'll get to more details about what we're seeing right now.
That AoE works.
What AoE? The spinning one? This one?
The spinning one, because like
that's very fast.
Yeah.
Because I assume you're not getting hurt by it as it spins around. I assume like it's just an indicator that moves, but very smoothly, unlike like Anger Mine from World of Darkness.
Yeah.
And then it will just stop at some point.
Yeah.
Love seeing war crimes.
Okay, so there's some cool bosses being shown off. A lot of shit. So I'm assuming that little cutscene there might be... This is probably for the Beast Tribe because they're in Lakeland here.
Yeah.
What if the Beast Tribe?
Yeah, look at the little stubby arms in the tank.
Oh, it looks like a tank from Metal Slug. It's so cute.
Ooh. What is that? Yeah? This is probably the Bozja's story that we're seeing here.
Oh, hey. It's that one Vieira, the weird one.
What?
Right, there she is.
Oh, yeah, there she is. The fan with the sunglasses. Yeah. Good
what
God.
the fuck is she doing?
Oh.
Lots of mechs.
Yeah.
Lots of mechs.
The joy you have known.
All right.
No.
Okay.
Okay. So this is This is the big one because this. Oh. Okay.
They wouldn't just show his death.
No.
That's not fair.
No. But
we have seen this before.
We have.
We have seen this before, and I was trying to remember, but then Twitter just filled up with pictures, and I'm like, okay, well there it is. I'll show you a picture of this exact same thing happening in the past.
Yeah. It's a
Yes. This is. I mean, we can't even argue that this. I mean, this is definitely the same move. So
feels like we just had a flashback with that sound effect.
Yeah. And Minfilia didn't die.
No.
There is an additional quote that I just read a few days ago. I think it was yesterday. Now, who said this? Was it anonymous? I think so. Yes. When Elizabeth struck Minfilia in 2.1, JP English and German used vague language for his musing on Heidland's protection, but the French, as usual, did not. Apparently, they said, "I could not take possession of her body." Is
good
this
old Asian possession?
Elidibus's possession move? Is this what it looks like when he tries to possess a body?
That's so.
And is that what's happening in the trailer?
It could be just how all Asians look
Yeah.
when they try to possess
Yeah.
body, because we've never seen that.
Yeah. So, yeah, because he basically says he can't do it because of Heidelin's protection, but Graha isn't protected by Heidelin.
No.
But Graha's strong. He's basically the Crystal Tower.
Yes.
Come on.
But what I find really interesting is that during this part, he's not crusty. He's not extra crusty like he is later
right.
earlier in the trailer.
He's slightly
He's
crusty
glowing.
because both of his arms are crusty at this point.
Oh, you're
which
right.
is more
Yeah, but it's not moved on to his... Oh, yeah, you're right.
No.
I didn't even think
No,
about
it's
that.
not on his clothes.
Yeah, you're right, actually. Yeah, he's got crust.
That'd be really bad because then he had power over the Crystal Tower.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Maybe that's how they fucking summon everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
They're
what
like,
where I was
"Oh."
going. Because
Yeah,
now
okay,
if he
sorry.
takes Graha, he takes the Crystal Tower.
Yeah, so that's why we would see those little summon circles earlier too.
Yeah. And this is also happening in the Crystarium. So it's like, because you can see the Crystarium on the right, you can see like a little Crystarium hut.
Got him on his nightly strolls. Damn.
Yeah.
Who let him in? I mean, he's seemingly been able to get in by himself quite easily.
Yeah. People just call him, like he was out there just recruiting people in the middle of the plaza.
Him itself got in pretty easily as well. I don't think there's any sort of anti-Asian field around the tower.
No.
Feels like he should have done this from the start.
Yeah.
It's-
Probably.
Okay, I guess you're right.
Well, now we're
Remember, he didn't start behaving this way until after Emet-Selch died.
You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, what if Graha is the one of the bosses? Well, like the part of the final...
We have to kill the
final
boy.
trial. Yeah. That's how Graha dies. We kill him. I am Nostradamus. I have spoken.
I feel as if Graha's going to be like the final boss of the dungeon.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if he's the trial.
I hope they don't put a dungeon because
Well,
I don't want to kill him every time doing expert roulette.
The thing is, okay, so I think we can conclude... Well, we'll keep watching. So also remember, this trailer is not in chronological order. So yeah. This is also really interesting because they are... Do you see this? Do you see what's happening?
Yes.
Yeah. This is a detail that I think a lot of people missed the first time. We're in fucking... what's it called?
Yulmore.
Yulmore.
Mm-hmm.
But Amarot is up. It's outside.
Yeah.
But is it real? And is it the same as the one that's in the Tempest? Or is it a different one?
Well,
Maybe it's a vision?
it's interesting because the fact that they're in Yulmore, because Yulmore is right outside of where Amarot is. Amarot is underneath the sea.
Is it truly that close though?
Well, we don't. That looks pretty far. Amarot is pretty big.
I think it's more of a vision because the star shower.
I
gives
think
you
the star
vision
shower is a vision as well. But there's here's one of those vision people coming.
Oh, that's a very real vision.
Yeah.
Anchored wolf, look out!
Oh no, he can't hear us. He has AirPods in. The butts. Oh yeah, he does kind of look like. I mean, as much as the glowing figure can, he does look like an older the warrior from FF1.
I'm saying. I mean, it's very probably a vision because it's all you can see. It's like wavy, like the city, but it is interesting considering the fact that they're in Yulmore when Amarot is supposed to be in the waters around Yulmore underneath.
Is it possible that we're all at Yulmore around this point, and then while we're heading back to the Crystal Tower to find out what the fuck is happening, that's when our Yulmoran airship is attacked, and that's what triggers the hero's gauntlet as we try to get back to the Crystal Tower?
Yeah, that's possible. Okay.
Bird.
Oh boy. Okay. How many people here in this shot? Oh my god, there's 12.
Oh, this shot. Sorry.
There's 12.
12.
There's 12 people in this shot.
Actually, no, there's 13.
Oh, really?
I think there's the one on the second from the right. I think there's someone behind them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
It's the 12. It's happening.
Yeah, that's definitely someone behind there.
Rauger's coming.
12 and Vana. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, it's definitely in Yulmore, because you can see, yeah, this city has come up from the sea. And you can see the part of Yulmore on the left, like a lighthouse or whatever, whatever that is.
Yeah.
The prayers you have whispered and answered.
I guess he definitely does summon them. He's
Yeah.
definitely summoning some Warriors of Light.
So this is in the Crystal Tower, very clearly. This is the Crystal Tower.
You have whispered and answered.
Crust Overload.
Is that the same sound?
Housing item in the making. Okay. So here you go. So think about the first shot. And then this. Okay, and now Warrior of Darkness. So everyone is here at the tower. Graha, Elidibus, Warriors of Darkness. Sorry, Warriors of Light.
They shall ever be your strength and your comfort.
All right.
When all is said and done, I would ask a favor of you.
Don't forget me when I die.
Wake me up!
Wake me, yeah, wake him up.
Wake me up inside!
That's probably what he's going to tell him to do. All right. Well, there's a lot here.
There's lots of mechs. You guys gotta watch Gundam now.
No, I don't think I do.
No, I think
you
we're
can
fine.
watch 8th MS Team. That's the good one.
We're not even acknowledging the vocal remix of the Emerald thing.
No, because there's so much else. But yeah, that also happens. That theme has vocals now.
Like, yeah, has anyone tried to note what the lyrics are saying? Because it just sounds like screaming to me. But maybe there's something to be observed from what.
Wow.
From what the lyrics are.
Okay, well, that's the trailer. I have many questions. Not so many answers. But it's exciting. And we're almost there. We're just a few weeks away. Okay. Well,
About
there you
2.5.
Yeah. Very good trailer.
Yeah. I like the song. I like the robots.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
I have nothing else to add to that, to what we've said. The trailer is just so good, and I wait, did we talk about the? Hold on.
Peggy 16.
Did I dream this? Hold on. Let me. I think there's more in the trailer that we haven't discussed.
Oh, there's even more to talk about.
But wait, there's more. Actually, maybe I'm thinking. I might be mixing up the live letter notes. Actually.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, there's just so much in here. Oh God, there's so much. I need this patch. I need it now.
No, you have your supper first.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
Patch later.
You'll do the patch. You'll do the beast tribes, and then you will do the summer event. That is the order of things that they want you to do.
Okay. Let's go back. All right. Let's jump into the actual live letter as well. That was just the opening to the live letter. We then opened with some a celebration of 14, reaching
Social
20
distance celebration.
20 million players.
Hey.
Congratulations. 20 million player. That's registered accounts, not active players. Important to know, because everyone's going to point that out. Yoshi-P had removed his mustache.
That's so sad.
Exactly.
That's so
Thank
sad. We were
goodness
brothers.
it's
Yeah. And also, of course, they were spaced very, very obviously. There was a very obvious negative space between Yoshi-P and FoxClan. But yes, so that's how the whole thing started. They then, of course, gave us the usual slide with everything we already knew. I guess there's not much to say about all the stuff that they mentioned, other than, I guess, Heroes Gauntlet is trust compatible, I guess. Hey.
Nothing surprising there.
Nope. I'm basically more or less just gonna jump to well, they confirmed that the secret MSQ trial is the final battle of the Shadowbringer story. So that marks the end. Again, you know, the Graha theory makes sense. If you keep that in mind. That is like, what better way to end the Shadowbringer story arc than to kill off Mr. Crust.
Maybe he won't die. You don't know that.
I don't know.
See,
I don't want him to die.
The way I feel about it is they showed us something that made everyone think he was going to die, so that when we get to that part in the story and we say, "Oh, he's not dead,"
Yeah.
so they can catch us off guard and kill him later.
Yep. Because there's no way they'd show his actual death in the trailer, and they didn't. I think this time, because I think that's literally just their like body snatching move. But okay, they then talked about job adjustments. There are no numbers here until the patch notes, so take this with a grain of salt again. For PvE, well, they're all for PvE. Monk, Perfect Balance will have a reduced cooldown.
Any monks out there can tell me what perfect balance is?
Form Shift will have one form reduced. And then major changes to Monk, turning Greased Lightning into a trait. It's one of them. In 5.4.
The Monk rework is coming.
Yes.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. For Bards, you'll get flat potency increase on skills. So just buffs all around.
Big power.
Yeah. Astrologians, reduced MP cost on skills. Good.
Right?
Yeah.
Always good to have more MP, right?
Yeah. Light speed will allow only 1.5 second recast. An MP region will be moved to another skill.
I said this during the live letter. I didn't know Lightspeed came with MP region.
No, I don't. It reduces MP cost, but it doesn't give you regen.
You sure?
Or MP regen.
Because they.
Yeah, I think they mean the reduced MP cost.
Oh, okay.
It's because it just.
Yeah, so it's an error in the translation probably. Sleeve draws effect will be changed, and that's it for Astrologian.
Just fuck it up, fam. What's the matter anymore?
Yeah. Try. I don't know. They keep trying to fix this job.
I'm still gonna play it. I don't know.
Summoner.
I'll suffer.
Yeah, Summoner. I have bad news. Try Disaster will be nerfed. Rotation will not change, but they did say that they wanted to do that at a later stage. I remember that was their ultimate goal, was to change Summoner's rotation, but it won't happen in this patch.
I think they just don't want Summoner rotation to be like 2.5 minutes long.
Right. Yeah. And then for warriors, changes to make buff easier to maintain.
Which buff?
Doesn't specify. Just buff the buff.
Probably stuff like Storm's Path or whatever. Or...
Yeah, probably stuff like that. Yeah, because
Storm's Eye. Sorry, not Storm's Path.
Yeah. Okay. Ishikar Restoration. Available in patch 5.31, 3 to 4 weeks after 5.3. Rankings period will remain 10 days with the same specifics as before, and top ranking will reward titles, but will be different than the last rank period. 1st to 12th place, Saint Ascendant. 1st to 100th place, Beatus. How do we pronounce? How do we pronounce these? Beatus and Beata Ascendant.
You guys gonna get it?
Well, here's the catch. Here, because when they said this, they knew that they were breaking a promise that they had made before. So they started by saying, "We are open to feedback. We will. I can't remember the exact wording, but basically, they might change this based on feedback." And feedback came during the stream, at which point they were like, "We might reconsider this." Now, I was originally going to bring out all the evidence, and I did. I had everything ready. Then I thought, this is just... It's too petty. I don't care enough about this to be... I'm not going to die on this hill. But I still think that this was wrong of them, because they did say that this wasn't going to happen. It's kind of like with the deep sea diving shit in 14, where they're like, they just focused so heavily on one thing. They're like, don't worry guys, there won't be a loading screen, there will be completely seamless, guys. And we're like, that's a weird thing to keep specifying. And then the game comes out and there's definitely some sort of loading going on. There's definitely a pause when you dive. And with Ishgard Restoration, they said there's going to be these titles that you get for finishing 1st to 12th and 1st to 100th. Don't worry if you don't get it in the first season, because the titles will remain the same always. So everyone gets a chance. Yeah, so you'll always have a chance to get that title later. What is this? We've had one season. Which, by the way, also confused me, because from what they told us, it sounded like this was going to be a rotating thing. It was going to happen quite often. I guess it got worse.
Every 4 months.
Yeah. And so the people that couldn't be bothered to go for the top 12 the first time, because to me that makes sense. The first season, if you're not like the top of the top, the cream of the crop of crafters, there's not even a point trying to get to the top 12, because they are definitely going to be up there. And I saw, especially on Ragnarok, no way I'd ever be able to make it to the top 12. So a lot of people probably just waited for the next season, so that, now the top 12 people have got their titles. There's no reason for them to be up there anymore. They probably won't even bother.
Yeah.
And now I can do it. Now you can't. You cannot get that title if this happens.
Yes.
So, not good. But based on what their reaction to the feedback they received during the stream, it seems like they might be considering this. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. Yeah.
The European, the North American, and the Japanese forum are all very furious about this.
Yes. So, and I understand, because of what I just said. Like, some people held off waiting for the next round to join.
I've seen some comparisons to people saying it's like face rankings. With face rankings, that this will last chance.
That's the problem we're talking about, is that they said something and then they didn't do it. They changed it.
If they had explained it in a similar way to Feast, where like this is your one chance to get blah blah mount, then it would be annoying. But at least they didn't lie.
Yeah.
Whereas if they go through with this, they will have lied.
Yes. I got the lower tier title almost by accident. I ended up there just because I was doing diadem for money. But I was gonna wait originally because I couldn't be bothered because everyone was doing it. It was just too much shit happening. But then I was like, oh, money. I can get like serious gil from this. So I spent a lot of time in diadem and ended up like just at the very bottom of the list. But a lot of people didn't. So I feel bad for them. And you could say, oh, but this title is cooler. Yeah, but now those old titles are exclusive and ones that people were expecting to get this time. That's the problem. A lot of people aren't seeing that. Okay. Anyways, let's. Still, that's tentative. We don't know if they're gonna just go with this or actually just keep the old titles. Ishgard items will be updated, so do not hoard.
Okay.
You'll get grade 3 lizards.
Yeah. Phase 2 achievements will have Phase 2 added to their names in 5.3. So, cool. New side quests will be added after this part of the new side quests will be added after this part of the restoration is finished. Okay.
Are you expecting this part of the restoration to be as long as the second part, or do you think it will be shorter or longer?
Wait, what did you say? My headset is...
Do you think this part of the restoration will be as long as the original one, or shorter or longer?
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with Ishgard Restoration. It feels like they keep changing stuff around. I would say... I would hope shorter. Longer. Shorter.
Oh, okay.
Same, probably.
Same?
Yeah.
I'm expecting the same or shorter.
Yeah. Yeah, so I could talk about this title thing forever, but I don't also just don't care. Like, this isn't my table, if you know what I mean. But I just felt like it was worth mentioning that. I understand the rage on the forums for once.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on to Yorha, the puppet's bunker. So larger emphasis on near elements is what they said. So, okay.
What that mean?
Don't know. New equipment, of course. And no equipment award available to everyone. And equipment design for third tier is already done and in production. So by no equipment award available to everyone is like the 2B dress.
Yeah,
or
there's
instead,
no coffer to roll on.
No.
I like all the sleeveless gear. It's very cool.
Yeah.
But it's kind of samey. It's
Yeah,
kind of
it's
similar to the first tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
mean, I hope that like because of this, that like women characters are able to get like the equivalent of like 9S gear, which they could not get in the first
right
from the first raid.
Yeah.
You can have pants now.
Yes, you can.
And no sleeves.
Yeah, so that's that. That's all they had to really say about that. They also talked about the Beast Tribe dwarves. They showed us the Lakeland area. They had a live demo of it. They also explained why they're in Lakeland. It's tied to the near raid. You saw it in the trailer, kind of. It getting blown to bits.
It's weird because it's tied to the near raid, but they also said you can do it on the first day.
Yes.
So
very strange. So that would be like...
Does that mean you can...
Yeah, go on.
Like, can you do it immediately? Or can you do it only after you do the near raid. Because I can understand you being able to do it on the first day, but putting that time pressure on you is weird. If that is the case.
Yeah.
You can see the war crimes whenever you like.
Yeah, so look forward to that. Looked cute, the little area in Lakeland.
They also explain why it's in Lakeland beyond the lore reasons.
Oh,
and
yes. Yeah, go on.
There's too many things in Kalusia right now.
Yep.
There's not enough space.
They've run out of memory in in Kalusia. So they literally cannot place them there. So that was fun. Spaghetti again. Then they moved on to moving on to crafting and gathering updates. They showed us the reverse search for recipes for materials. So right-click a material, look up, and it'll just show you what you can use that to craft with that item.
Oh, that's very useful.
Yeah.
I assume it only shows you recipes you have access to, and not recipes that like you can't make.
No, they showed that. They will even show you recipes you cannot make. They'll be grayed out.
Oh.
Yeah. They definitely said that. Unfortunately, they did not specify if they can show you where to unlock those recipes. I don't know if that feels like a thing that they haven't implemented that will be added later.
Well, it'll be nice to know at least that, like, maybe you just have a random item you got from like a fucking map, and you're like, "Is this valuable?" Right click, search. No.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. New raw material list specifies how many. Okay, so this was funny. So they showed this new raw material list, which it's basically was this the crafter trial thing? Is this where we are now? Specifies how many materials are needed to craft X amount of an item. Yeah. And they showed this slide, and then they just started going off with like all this math. There was like this like help text at the bottom, and it just kept growing to like massive size, trying to explain like how clever it was, because it could. I can't even remember, but it's very, very good.
Someone was really proud of themselves.
Yeah. Very advanced.
It's a system that accounts for instances where you would otherwise have spare materials.
Yeah.
So that it can minimize the amount of spare materials you will have at the end.
Yes. This was also funny. They announced the new desynth system where you can desynth the stack, multiple stacks until you run out. And Rollo, I'm assuming you've watched this.
I did not watch all of it.
Okay.
I saw the slides,
did you watch the desynth?
Mm.
Good. I hope not. Did you watch the desynth?
Okay. No.
Okay.
What happened?
Did you expect? Okay. So how do you expect the? So I have a big stack, 999, which they showed on stream of fish. Yeah. He right clicks desynth. What happens?
It'd be just like auto crafting, right? You just right click desynth and
okay. You have the right of it, Rollo. I don't know what I was expecting, to be honest. But he has during the stream, Rollo, he had a stack of 999 fish. And I'm like, okay, desynth is probably gonna be real quick since it's showing this stack of 1,000 fish that he's about to desynth.
Mm-hmm.
One by one, he begins desynthing the fish. One by one. That's the stack desynth system.
Would you expect it all at once? No.
I expected there to be kind of like a there would be a wait time, I thought, but maybe after that it'd be like complete, and then you'd show you all the items. But no, it's one by one. 999 fish.
You've seen how those animals lock boxes work.
Yeah, well, actually, I would prefer this over the lockbox system. Get this into the lockbox system where you can just walk away.
Yeah.
Instead of having to press a button.
During the live letter coverage. Why is this not how lockboxes work?
Yeah. But yeah, at least it's there. So if you need a pee break and desynth those fish to get all the sand that you need, You can do that.
I want to see like the defense bots now, like just in Limsa, just constant like
Just
just constantly forever.
Yeah. We brought this up during the stream. What can you desynth
other than fish
that stacks?
Yeah.
Other than fish, yeah.
I don't know. So this is just for fish, I think, because I think it's only fish that you can do that with. I don't know. Okay. They also mentioned that new requested items requested for collectibles will no longer be random.
I assume it just means that all collectibles that were available in the past that were available on a schedule will now just always be available.
Yes. Yes. That's
it would
good.
be annoying if they just picked certain ones and then those are the collectibles from now on. And if you have stacks that you were waiting until that they returned in the collectible rotation, they just never appear again. That would be irritating.
That's true. Yeah. I hope that I don't know. Well, we'll see. Pentameld equipment will still be better than Skysteel tools, despite I feel like we mentioned this last time, but that makes sense considering the upgrade is in 5.35. Now, expected a lot of information to come out about the Unreal trials and faux hollows. No. Well, they could tell us that the primals will basically be just like level 80 bosses. And we'll get Shiva, and there we could potentially get 2 trials per patch in the future.
Okay.
That's all they said about that. So
yeah,
God knows what that minigame is. Still,
show us.
No. There's just silence, complete silence. What they were not silent about was Bosja Frontlines.
Yeah.
Because I was worried they weren't going to show it to us this live later.
Yeah. No, I feel like this. I always felt like they were going to show this because this felt like this is the patch, like flagship. This is the content, kind of what they did with Eureka. It's 40. So no, not 42. It's 72 players per instance. Large scale battle instance.
Half of Eureka.
But here are the improvements overall. You can join from level 71. There is no separate leveling system per se. You are leveling your actual base job, whatever you enter as or play as. You can change jobs and form parties inside the instance. You will gain experience for jobs that will be retained outside of Bosja. It's actual EXP for jobs below 80. And you will be synced to level 80, eye level 430.
Cool.
So regardless of your eye level, you will be 430. So it's kind of like Eureka. Eureka does that too. It sets you to like some arbitrary eye level. I can't remember what it is right now.
But it didn't sync you up. It didn't sync your
only
level
when
up,
you,
did you?
Only when you were max. Was that only Hydatos? I can't remember what it is. I believe Hydatos had an eye level that locked you to, right? Chat? I'm pretty sure that's how it worked. I can't remember if it did that on the lower tier ones.
No. I'm talking about your actual level. In
actual
Eureka,
level.
I didn't think it syncs you up in terms of your true level. Like if you switch
that's
to
because
something
Eureka
that's-
has its own leveling system. I think the max level there is 50 or whatever. I can't remember what the level. Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah. Content will be larger than when Eureka first launched. Whatever that means. Separate leveling system. So this is so you have your base level, which will always be level 80. How are they going to show? I didn't look for that when they previewed this. But you can enter as level 71, but you will be synced to level 80. Will you be able to see your EXP bar? Is it going to show 80? I didn't check that during the demo. But there's also a separate leveling system called Resistance Rank, which you can easily level solo or in a party.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, because from what we've seen so far, I don't know if I saw that, but okay. You use something called metal to raise your rank. So that does it explain what metal is here? Yes, okay. We'll get back to that. Mounts can be used immediately, but flying will be disabled. So basically, Eureka, right now, post buff, but post buff number 150.
There'll be no walkers this time.
No walkers. Death penalty. Yeah, metal is kind of like just battle exp. If you like, not like leveling exp. Death penalty is a loss of certain amount of metal. So instead of ranking down or leveling down, you'll just lose metal. Content will revolve around destroying the Garlean forts through skirmishes and critical engagements. So skirmishes are just fates, basically, with no player limit.
So Notorious monsters from America.
Yeah. But the new content here is critical engagement, which is an instanced event boss within Southern Bosja. It has special conditions to trigger, so I'm guessing similar to NMs, where you have to complete a certain amount of fates, a certain amount of mobs have to be killed, or whatever. Only allows 24 to 48 people from the nearby area to join. So here's where things get a little weird. This is where I'm a little skeptical about if they've thought this through. You can queue as a party. If more than 48 are available, then players are selected at random. Using a special item or helping trigger, the event provides priority. They provides extra metal and rewards.
That's phrased differently. So if you help in triggering the event, or you use a special item.
Yes. These critical engagements provide extra metal and rewards for completion. And an excellent result will trigger a one-on-one event with the enemy general, where one player gains access to the jewel.
Yeah.
Special requirements can be met to get selected for this duel, such as not being hit by a single AoE.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I thought it was going to be... Never mind. That's fine.
Yeah.
So they talked about when they were demoing this and how when they triggered this during one of the test plays, the person that was pulled in, the people outside were making bets as to how quickly he would die. Most of them said about 6 seconds. He lasted 12.
I'm so excited to see how it turns out.
Yes.
I want to be the guy in there. I want to be the one to fuck it up.
What was it? It was 3 seconds. Wasn't it? I can't remember. I can't remember. Whatever. Okay, so sounds fun on paper, but just like with Eureka, I can smell the drama coming. It's.
I mean, if you want in, just help spawn it.
Well, you know what people are gonna do. So here's what I think's gonna start happening. Don't blame me for this. I'm not giving any ideas.
Okay.
I know these ideas are already in the community. People are going to form either Discords or some sort of other community thing, and then they will queue up at the same time in the same instance, 48 players. They will all get these items somehow, and then they will take those critical engagements from everyone. That's going to happen. 100%.
But the thing is, you can just help them, and you still have the same chance to get in as them.
Yeah. That's true.
And
hence the
your
drama.
Entire party would too.
Hence the drama. And then people are going to be like, oh, we were here first. This is our instance. Remember when that was a thing in Eureka? When Hydatos were like, they would like get people, like they would be like, get out of this instance. This is our instance, actually. Get on the Discord, you loser.
I will not join your Discord. You can't make me. I refuse.
My theory on how these items work, and I don't know if this is going to be true because I think this would be efficient, and I worry that they chose a non-efficient way to solve this problem, would be that if you queue up for for critical engagement, but you don't get in, you will get an item for priority the next critical engagement. That's what I feel would be the most efficient way of solving this problem. I don't know if that's how it's actually going to work. Like, it could be possible that you can get lots and lots of these items, and then the kills scenario will be the problem that will occur.
Yeah. Well, I do like that there is a priority item. But they didn't specify this item thing until a little later in the live letter. So at first I thought, oh my god, this is the worst thing, because you get like this the thing pops up and it's like, oh, this event is about to happen. You can queue if you want to. And first of all, I thought, wow, like if you're in a party, it's just random which members of your party are going to make it into the critical engagement, but only the party leader can do that. So they've already solved that problem. Yeah. Makes it sadder to play solo, because again, a party leader can already have the item. All you need is one person in your party having that item, and they get priority. If you don't have that item, you might, it might be random.
Do we know?
What?
Do we know that? It could be like going into the diadem back in the day where everyone needed the item.
No, party leader. It specifies
sure that
only the party leader can queue. So only the party leader would need to have because it's his. Do
you know that? Because when
I don't know that.
Back in the day, everyone needed the resource to get in.
I'm pretty sure they said, because we talked about this during the episode, during the live letter.
Because the party leader is the one that queues.
Yeah.
But does that necessarily mean
that makes sense that the whole party joins? Because why else would the party leader be the only one queuing?
No. What I'm saying is, like, back in the day, when you queued for Diadem, everyone would need the resource to get into Diadem.
Yeah, but that wasn't like a lottery. You didn't. Of course, you needed a ticket. That was just the system. I am hoping they're not fucking it up this badly, because that's what I thought initially when they started. I'm like, oh my god, fuck this. If that's the the system is fucked regardless then, because oh god. So let's say your party triggers the event. Your party is, so everyone gets the item. That kind of would make sense, yes. I guess.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But also, I believe if you trigger the event, you have a higher chance than people that just use the item as well.
That's true. I hate that idea that there's a chance that a party is broken up because someone done.
No. It will just like with you.
So it'll just deny them.
Yeah, it will just go. Not everyone in your party has the priority, blah blah blah, to go in. So, or it will not prioritize you, and it will default to non-priority.
We just have to wait on seeing that one. As long as it's not the same thing as fucking.
There's gonna be a wave of drama.
Hydatos.
It's gonna be so much drama. Ooh, baby. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why they've restricted it so much. They've even
because it's easier for them to make fights that require a certain amount of people.
Yes, but they'd already cut the instance in half. It's only 72 people now. They've made content for 72 mans many times.
Have they?
Well, I'm thinking about Frontline, but that's technically against players.
I was going to say that's not based around an enemy.
Well,
like an AI enemy.
No, they made for Diadem.
That's true.
And that didn't have restrictions. You could enter as like the instance cap, basically. I don't remember what the instance cap for Diadem was. Was it 144?
Only one thing, though, and maybe they didn't like it.
Baldestian Arsenal? Yeah, that's also one.
It's 50. That's 56.
That's still more than 48. 48.
That's 8 more.
Yeah. Then why didn't they shrink the I mean, not everyone's going to join anyways in a 72-man instance. It's just, it feels weird. It just feels like a weird thing, 14 thing.
I don't disagree. I'm just trying to like logic out why they would do this.
Maybe it just depends on like the frequency of them. Because if it's like every 30 minutes, even like it probably wouldn't be that bad.
I worry.
I'm not.
I worry because we've been here before. We've been here before content like this has been launched, and we've seen the signs where things don't add up. Then it launches, and then we're like, okay, well, we kind of saw this coming, didn't we?
I'm not as worried as Likiel. I'm more positive about this, which will be a recurring theme, which will come up later in this.
I am podcast. I am positive for the. I mean, don't even start. I was positive for Eureka. I stood on the barricades while everyone shat on Eureka. I still love this content. I'm just looking for the drama. I'm just waiting for us reporting on all the community drama and all the hostility that will arise from this system.
It's more than half the instance getting to go in, so it's like...
Yeah, but it's not all.
Your chances are still pretty good.
You have 2 and 3 getting in if the instance is full.
Well, we'll see how it goes. Okay. Metal can only be acquired through these activities and not through field mobs in the zone. Lockboxes return and are rewarded from activities and field mobs, so look forward to more magic prisms. Lost actions provide various different effects, so logos, they already confirmed those, but they're also, I mean, they're literally logograms as well, because you need to find forgotten fragments. So you find them you get them from activities and field mobs. Each action has a certain weight now, and players have a weight limit. So
I hope they either cannot be sold, or I hope that if they can't be sold, they are easier to obtain.
Yes.
I kind of want to make some money though.
Yeah.
I made a lot of money off logograms.
Same.
Like 15 mil, I think.
Yeah, it was crazy.
But certain holograms have just ridiculous conditions to obtain them.
Yeah.
Yeah, make it hard so then I can do it, because I'm crazy and then I'll make
I mean,
money,
there isn't much else to do, like, because you can get the relic by just doing the MSQ in there. So if you have if you want to make money, then you have to grind for it, I guess. That would make sense. I don't know. That's kind of what they were doing with the logograms. Baldessian Arsenal equivalent will be introduced in 5.4, but it will be more accessible based on player opinions. Good. There are
5.4 is interesting.
Why?
Because that's not a half patch.
No. Well, that's kind of like that's just Eureka. That's just a new leg of Eureka, I guess. I don't know how they're going to treat this, though. Yeah, they don't really specify if that content will be introduced in a new map, or if that's just going to be added to the existing map. Yeah, we'll see. No elements in Southern Bosnia, so elemental resistance in the elemental wheel is gone.
Thank goodness.
And rare monsters will exist around the map. Don't know what that means.
Nope.
If that's like, are they NMs or just cool to look at?
You'll get some logograms from them.
Yeah. So that's Bosnia Frontlines.
Exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting. Looking forward to this.
I'm gonna do it a lot, and I'm not gonna get the relic too.
You know, Rollo...
I have to get the relic.
Yeah, because it's just a story quest.
Yeah.
Speaking of...
I'm pretty sure they're giving you a relic for free, Rollo.
Yes.
People like...
But it would be funny if I didn't get it.
Yeah. No, it wouldn't. No, it would
be infuriating.
Yeah.
I did all that, and I just tossed it out.
I would be so angry. I would be so angry. Good God. Speaking of the relic quest, upon entering the Bosnian Southern Front, players can begin a quest to augment the relics. Yoshi-P recommends taking this quest ASAP. Can be upgraded through the quest line or through skirmishes. Who would ever do the skirmishes before the MSQ? Oh, do you think the quest is gated by rank?
They made it seem like you can do the whole thing
without ever fighting anything.
Yeah, that's what it made it seem. Well, I assume you have to fight things as part of the quest, but...
Okay. I don't want to introduce anything cursed. Required upgrade materials can also be gathered outside of Southern Bosnia. So, Batma.
It seems like if you are not doing it in Bosnia, you will be, because they already said it's not tomes.
Yeah.
So you'll probably be grinding something similar to Atma.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Bosnian Atma.
Yeah. Batma.
Batman.
Okay. So there you go. Big hype. I'm looking forward to this. I love doing Relic stuff, so I'm glad to have it back.
Maybe this will be the first Relic I ever finish.
Hey! Yeah. Because you don't really have to do anything for it.
Yeah.
Okay, A Realm Reborn updates. So they talked about, well, we'll talk more in depth about A Realm Reborn updates and when we get to the interviews section of the episode. But they mentioned that quests that introduce important characters remain, but with reduced steps. They basically, one of the examples they picked was the fetch quests, where you for instance, have to fetch 3 items. You now only have to fetch 1 item. Like, they've done stuff like that with quests. Gear and EXP. Yeah, gear and EXP has been increased, so new players reach level 50 with ease. I'm assuming that means no more level gating in the story. You don't have to grind. Mounts. So flying is available, but mounts cannot enter water.
Makes sense.
Not me at all.
No.
Yeah.
This is funny. The next point is funny because there were really only two things they could do. Well, there's technically 3, I guess, but they could have made an Aetheryte at Vesper Bay. They could have changed just the quest to not like have you go to the Waking Sands every time or automatically teleport you, or they could do the Spaghetti Spagooty thing, which is what they did, introducing the Waking Sands teleport ticket.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it's a key item that you just have on you now that can teleport you to the
It's a
Waking
ticket you have to
Sands.
buy.
Do you think you have to buy it? No. I think they said.
didn't.
I think they actually said that you get it as part of a quest. Like a quest will just award it to you.
I would assume quests will just give them to you every time you have to go to the Waking Sands.
Okay.
Wouldn't it make sense to just have it as a key item though? That way they save themselves from like adding items to quests.
I feel as if there's a part of me that thinks they don't want you teleporting there whenever you want.
Oh yeah, because like there's probably going to be some bots or some exploit like people are just going to use. Maybe, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, we'll see.
Make it a skill, like a return, but just specifically for the Waking.
Yeah.
Minfilia's Call, new skill learned.
Yep. Next, the free trial / also starter edition now extends to level 60 and includes all playable content up to 3.56. This means that Dark Knight, Astrologian, and Machinist is now playable, Aura is available, and free trial restrictions on currency and market boards are still in place. Wait, what does starter edition mean?
Starters where you just buy a Realm Reborn.
Oh, I see. Wait, just the starter edition? Oh, I see, because it goes to level 60 now. And,
yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. It's a free-to-play game now.
It is.
But in the best way possible. So get all your friends.
So that's a cash shop still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Well, that's all. That's that. We have other news.
You think 13% is enough, by the way?
Can we talk about the controversy that people have about it being increased to level 60?
What is the controversy?
People saying that people are saying that it's gonna like it's going to minimize like what's the exact phrasing of it? Like they're like saying that it's a bad precedent for how much they're going to give away of the game.
Oh, I don't care. They can have all the way up to store blood for free. Anymore. I wouldn't fucking care.
No. Fine.
I'm just saying that there are people out there that are worried about it for some reason.
My original reaction to it was, oh, we edge ever closer to free to play. Fine. if we go free to play, I've already said this. If 14 ever goes actually free to play, this podcast is over. But we are still not there, so it's fine. Yeah, you can get more friends to play, I guess.
I'm just imagining an era where 14 is free to play and 11 still has a sub per character.
Yeah. It's just
That's cursed.
for me. It's kind of the only thing that I can think about is that we just got a new store. We just got announced that we can now start holding things. And now the trial is up to level 60. I'm hearing it. I can feel the ghost of free to play coming ever closer. We're not there yet, but we've never been this close.
I really just think that it's just a good expansion of the free trial because, like,
yes, for now it is. Yeah, I was always I always thought that the well. Not originally, but over time, I've come to realize that the original free trial was stopped way too early. Yeah. It stopped at a horrible point in the story.
We've talked about how level 35 is a horrible point to stop the trial at.
Yeah. Why would they do that when they make so much from subs? Because people buy shit off the store. They earn so much money probably on the cash shop, which is why they upgraded it so that it's even more accessible. It was very hard to get to the Monk Station originally. Like, you had to log in and shit. It was very frustrating. But now people that don't even play 14 can go in there and look at all the shit they can buy in game, and soon we will have teddy bears and all the cool wings of all sizes that everyone likes.
The Monk Station is now accessible when you're not logged in now.
Yeah.
The Final Fantasy 14 online store, sorry.
Yeah.
Also, to answer your question earlier, Rollo, no, we did not finish our Realm Reborn playthrough.
No.
Oh, okay.
We canceled that shit. No.
Oh, why?
Too long, too tiring, too boring. We need that.
What an indictment of a Realm Reborn.
Well, it's boring for me because I've done it before multiple times. I don't need it. I just felt that I don't need it again.
How far did you guys get?
I don't remember. 30?
We didn't even get to Hawk Manor.
We didn't even get to Hawk Manor. I didn't even get to Titan.
Oh my god!
But it was so tired. It was just draining me, Rollo. It was. I think
it's gonna be lost.
I think we made it worse by voicing everything. Like, everything was we voiced everything.
That's
so yeah, so things went even slower than it would have normally.
But I understand why it drained your skill.
It's so draining. So yeah, stop that. Right, sorry, we're talking about the trial. Yeah. They have said that 14 is never going free to play, and I'm just then again, sometimes they just do it anyways with stuff they say they aren't.
Sometimes they lie.
Yeah, like Ishgard Restoration, but I don't see that happening. Look at 11. I think 11 though is different because people are going to point to 11. Look at 11. 11 isn't free to play. 11 doesn't have an online store. They have no other way of earning money on 11. They really don't. That subs is the only income for 11.
Someone has to pay to keep the lights on.
Exactly,
11, man.
Yeah.
Not gonna be me, by the
way. They will expand the free trial in the future. I think they will. I don't know. I don't want to be. We're definitely not gonna be like, oh, we're free to play now. Don't panic yet. My alarms haven't gone off yet, but I can hear the Phantom, the free to play Phantom. He's out there. He's out there in the streets. He's looking for 14, but he hasn't found it yet. Okay. Right, let's move on to other news. Also, we have to also acknowledge the fact that 14 is like 10 years old. Well, I always count 1.0, but I guess 7. Is it 7 or 6? 7 years old now?
7 years old, I think.
Yeah.
Realm Reborn is 7 years old.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just see it just being like that for the rest of the game's life cycle. Like you just get the base game and a Heaven Sword for free. Like,
Yeah, that
Mm.
see, that's a
I
good.
think
Yeah,
it would just stay like that.
yeah, that makes
That's
sense.
that's like more than 100 hours of content
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
for free.
It
Though
also,
I wouldn't
yeah, go on.
care either if Stormblood was added. Whatever.
I wouldn't care either.
Yeah, but that's a worse place to end.
I agree. I agree with Lakil there. That's the worst place to end.
Yes. So, yeah. We're fine. It's fine. Don't panic yet. Other news. There will be more fish. In 5.3.
Hooray.
A new token vendor will be added to major cities, which has gear and items related to that area / expansion. They also then repeated that you will always get the upgraded version of the Poetics gear now.
Good.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, so you don't have to buy
You
the
think
upgrade
they're going to
items.
make it cost more too to reflect that? Like, you gotta spend more poetics?
Yeah, I think that makes
My
sense.
precious poetics, no.
We're getting 8 new umbrellas. We're getting a new
Including
fashion. What?
Japanese-inspired umbrellas.
So look forward to that.
I highlighted that.
Yep. New fashion items menu, which includes umbrellas. Future updates will include plushies you can hold.
Woo!
What if you could hold a little picture of the X-Arc? Like you just like
Picture
hug
of
it.
the X, not even a doll, just a picture.
Just a pic, or just like you run with it, and you just like that,
Mhm.
looking.
I believe they said that you'll also be able to. One of the other fashion items is like walking while reading a book,
Oh.
which as a scholar is something I've always wanted.
Gonna bump into mobs and get yourself killed like that. Don't do it. It's dangerous.
Well, I assume I can't actually do combat while I'm holding the book because
No.
it's essentially a mount at walking speed.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how that goes. I'm sure the Final Fantasy XIV online store will be full of items that you can hold in the future.
Yeah.
Yay. G-Pose has stickers, so that's for free in game, at least. You can get stickers. They can
very
be
weird.
Yeah, they can be rotated and moved. They're placed in a layer list. They can be overlapped. And they can be saved for later use as presets.
Every
like
screenshot I
Photoshop.
have
It's like Photoshop.
will have a gobble.
Except basic.
Yeah. There was all this stuff. You could place the area title, like the title of the area or the name of the area you're in, the time, the date, your name. Israel?
Are these stickers from the Zoe or fucking book or Chloe?
No, there are
They
many
look like it.
new.
They're just like mostly minions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nikhil is excited to use the Fate Complete sticker
My evil
inside
plan.
dungeons.
Yeah, I was gonna I have this master plan where I'm gonna post fake screenshots in like Sestasha and then put the Fate Complete text on top and be like, guys, I just found this in Sestasha. If you walk backwards and press the button 3 times, a fate spawns. Guys, and
That's how you get the capes back in.
yeah. And I actually got the cape back. Yeah. No picture though, because screenshot keeps failing when I take a picture of it.
Wow, I love middle school.
Also, new glamour mounts and minions, of course, new housing items. They showed some pictures. I can't remember actually what the. Oh yes, they showed this like wallpaper that looks like something out of Silent Hill, but it's from the near factory. It's just rusty, ugly, industrial.
Ugly.
Yeah. Also, they announced the Yokai event being back. They showed off some new weapons for Gunbreaker, Samurai, Red Mage, Dancer, with the new minions and mounts. Minions are not very good this time around, but the weapons are very good looking. Probably the best looking Yokai weapons ever, I think.
Okay.
Mm.
You gonna get them?
Yeah, of course. because I want the mount as well. The mount is that like red-orange cat thing from Yokai Watch. Yeah. And you can sit on it and ride it. And we don't know if it scales, because every time they showed it off, it had a Lalafell on it. But
I hope it doesn't scale, just like the Whisper mount.
yeah. The minions seems... Yeah, there's something off with the minions, and I think it's because they're actually just people. They're not chibi-looking things. They're just characters.
The problem is they're, like, well animated, like the Calico from Monster Hunter.
Yes.
But they're not designed to be that size.
No.
So it looks weird.
Yes. And now for some weird stuff, because they then showed us an event map of seasonal events. They showed us that Moonfire Fair will start on August 12th, last until
Day after the patch.
Day after the patch, and last until the 26th. Fair enough. Yokai Watch starts on August 19th until patch 5.4. The Rising, August 27th to September 10th. Then there is a big gap until late October till late November. Which event would that normally be? All Saints Wake.
Yeah.
Right? But we've been asking for one very specific event to begin during this long-ass drought that we've had. But there it is. Make it rain. Late October till late November. So that begged the question, where did All Saints Wake go? Well, as it turns out, All Saints Wake has been delayed, the event. So items will be put into the... basically cancelled. So they put all the items that was meant to go into the All Saints Wake event into the Gold Saucer event as rewards.
Strange. I wonder what they're going to be like.
Yeah.
So what I find very strange about this is that Make It Rain has not existed since the start of the game. I don't know why they didn't brand this as an All Saints Wake event with Make It Rain items.
Yeah, same. It's very strange. Everything about
All Saints
this.
Wake has always been there. It's very weird that we're not getting it at all.
Yeah.
technically.
Yeah.
Halloween's canceled, guys.
We're just going to get the rewards, and that's going to be like the only traces left of that quest.
They did say parts of the proposed storyline will be integrated into the Make It Rain event.
We'll see how that goes, but that sounds really weird. Okay, so there you go. Lastly, well, this was actually not last, but we're saving it for last here.
It was pretty close to the end.
Yeah, it was just before the event map. JP and NA FanFest is now officially cancelled. They're still monitoring EU.
That shit ain't happening.
No,
It
it isn't happening.
FanFest is over, guys.
Well, FanFest isn't over.
Out. Oh.
There's no... Okay, you can do that. That's fine.
I won't be allowed to go. It's not fair.
No, you won't be able to go. And that I think that is one of the big problems as well, is that people won't... Even if the UK opens up, most other countries won't. So, and Rolo's place probably won't. So
now I won't be allowed to. Sorry, you can't get on this plane.
I think that too will be. I mean, it won't be worth the investment even, because they might not be able to sell out at all.
I want to believe that the world can deal with this global pandemic by February next.
Yes, based on the world right now, you can tell that that's going swimmingly. We're doing great, guys.
I think it'd be very funny though, and very funny as in extremely morbid, if this Europe or the UK's third spike was
it was because of FanFest. Good lord.
A bunch of fucking anime video game nerds just ruined a country and people's lives.
Yeah. The thing I don't know why you are still I guess it's because Square Enix has done this. I think this at this point, they have to start thinking about an all-digital FanFest. It is
probably
insanity not to even talk about it, though. It's weird that they didn't talk about it during the live letter. Where they're like, oh, we still want to do the physical thing. Okay, but the world is changing now because of this. This might not even be a thing most people want to do anymore after this. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's weird. I'm just expecting an all-digital FanFest. And then...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And that's fine.
Sports are kicking back up. What's to stop nerds from getting back into this in the future too?
There's a bit of a difference between
some cases.
I mean, sports are heavily regulated right now. You can't do that with FanFest, and that's what they actually said. That even if they were allowed, they would all of the measures that they had to like implement to keep everything safe made it not worth it. They would have to wipe down all the controllers every time a player left. Like was done with a challenge, they would have to like all of that shit would have. That's a lot of work, a lot of staff, which means more people, more crowds, which also isn't allowed. What?
Sorry,
2023, guys. That'll be
around 2023 we might be okay again. I know it sucks, but it's also the world right now.
I refuse.
That was okay. That's fine. That was. I'm assuming. A
no,
joke.
I mean because that'd be next FanFest.
Oh, next FanFest, right? That's the next cycle.
I'm not saying. I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe, but I was just implying the next FanFest.
Yeah. I know it sucks, but that is the world we're in right now. We can't change that. Let's try to make the best out of it. Like an all digital FanFest is still fine.
Well, they're doing the best they can do right now. I guarantee you that they are working behind the scenes on an all-digital FanFest. They just don't want to announce it. Like they want to keep hope alive as long as possible.
Which I think is, I understand that. But a lot of the hope would still be restored if they just said all digital.
I don't know if that's necessarily the same like level of enthusiasm.
Really? Because right now, it kind of almost feels like I don't know. It's weird. I would be more optimistic if they were like, don't worry, guys. If it doesn't work, online FanFest is happening. We've got it.
Because I already assumed that they're already working on it.
Yeah, but they didn't say anything during the live letter.
Yeah, but I don't need them to tell me that.
Why?
I just assume they're doing it.
How would you feel if the FanFest were presented like a Nintendo Direct?
I'd be fine with that.
Maybe like the older style Nintendo Directs where they're a bit more like cheeky and funny with it. But...
Yeah.
It's like an hour long.
Yeah. Yeah, we want it a little longer than that.
I want to, if they're going to do a direct, not a direct, if they're going to do a FanFest online, I want them to have like panels still, please. I don't want it to
just have it.
like keynote and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah,
that would just be a live letter.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
There needs to be more.
It could be a mix. It could be...
If they're going to go with like an all-digital FanFest, it'll probably end up just being similar to their 14-hour streams.
Yeah. That would probably make sense.
Oh, yeah. Well, how would you feel like if there was like an in-game event where like you could see the stream from in-game? Like you're in Fortnite, man, watching...
Don't give me this fucking VR chat hellscape.
It'd be cool. I'd be down.
Let's
go to Kagane and we have to watch FanFest on the fucking what's the ship? That's the opera ship on a projector.
I was with you when you were saying let's have an in-game like FanFest type thing.
Yeah.
Then you said let's watch it in game, and I was
I mean, you don't have to, but you could.
Yeah. Right. No, but also, if you think 14 could ever pull that off with its spaghetti engine, no. Yeah, well, there you go. So annoyingly, we can't say that all of the physical FanFests are cancelled yet because they still monitor EU. But I'm also monitoring EU, and I think it's pretty clear.
Hey. Maybe they're hoping for the miracle of a vaccine between now and February.
Square Enix is developing it themselves.
Roll out. We can't say this. This is YouTube and Twitch don't like us talking about vaccines. All right. Okay. That's the live letter, but there is definitely more, because after the live letter, Yoshi-P was interviewed by several news outlets, and there's more information about the patch. So we'll get into that now. We'll start with an article from Eurogamer. Final Fantasy. So this focuses on. Is this the one that focuses on the A Realm Reborn stuff? I think so, yes. Final Fantasy XIV's big 5.3 patch opens up the path to new players. Naoki Yoshida on crossovers, killing old content, and going beyond 20 million players. I don't know if that's still in there, because things have been cut out here. 5.3 is due to be released on the 11th of August, and Square Enix has since released a mini site for all the new additions to the game. However, just underneath the surface, more significant changes are being made to the game in order to accommodate new players, starting with a complete overhaul of the content released in the original game, which was created in just 2.5 years, according to Yoshida. Quote, "We needed to create really tight guidelines for creating quests. For example, they have to make each quest 9 minutes long." They said this during the live letter as well, which is let's discuss that after this, including all the text and all that. Because we had the concept that we want the players to spend a lot of time on those quests, that's why we made that kind of guideline for each quest. With that as a result, it kind of revealed so many quests that may be unnecessary or lots of excess steps which you don't really need. So we wanted to revisit and remove all the excess quests and unnecessary bits, because we thought that the focus has to be for the players to enjoy the storyline, end quote. So, yes, that explains pretty much everything about A Realm Reborn's pacing. Because no quest is quick in A Realm Reborn. And as they said, 9 minutes per quest. That's like a fetch quest has to be 9 minutes long. That's bonkers. It explains the dancing quest in the Sylphlands, in the Sylph place. That's going to be cut down. Good. It's definitely part of why we dropped the A Realm Reborn playthrough. Pick up an item, but also go here and here and here and kill that. This has nothing to do with the fetch quest at all. And then go back to me and have a chat for 10 minutes. Yes, Yoshida's words ring true. The first hours of A Realm Reborn are rough and can be a significant turnoff for many newer players of Final Fantasy XIV. But this streamlining does not come without its own challenges. Quote, "If we just take out some bits from the existing storyline, then we have to take out the NPCs that may be playing the key role or really important role, and it could also affect the lore of the world and everything. We listed all the quests that are included in A Realm Reborn, and then we figured out the priority and the necessity of the quests existing in the game or not. This removal of unnecessary quests took up 1/3 of the entire workload," end quote. But if new players still want to experience all of the content that was in the vanilla release of 14, Yoshida has words of reassurance. So here it is. For those of you that were like, can't believe they're deleting quests. Those quests that are decommissioned, we didn't really remove them completely, he says. We moved them to side quests. For anyone who has the time and wants to dig more for lore and stuff like that, they can spend time on it, end quote. There you go.
I'm really happy about that.
Yeah.
I was very worried that certain things were just going to be lost to the ether, but the fact that they're keeping them as side quests, fine. Good.
There you go.
That's what I want.
Side quest goes dance for the sylphs.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to go dance for the sylphs, make that a side quest. Yeah. So that's good. Everyone wins on that. People that wanted a more streamlined story gets that, and people that were afraid that they were going to lose important quests or lore, there you go. It's in the side quests. I wonder if we will get those side quests flagged as completed. Hopefully that's gonna work.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I would assume so.
Yeah, because we'll see. Yeah,
I'm not dancing for those sylphs again.
No. Okay, so there are two infamous. So this is also interesting. There are two infamous dungeons in A Realm Reborn: Castra Meridianum and the Praetorium. Both are pretty lengthy, with unskippable cutscenes every time they might come up during a daily dungeon roulette where you can get extra bonus XP. It's not uncommon in these dungeons for some players to be AFK and just wait for others to complete it for them. What's going to be done with this now archaic dungeons? Yoshida says.
Archaic dungeons.
Yoshida, yeah. Yoshida says, we came to the conclusion that it would be easier just to create those 2 8-man dungeons from scratch rather than tweaking the existing content, says Yoshida. We totally understand that those 2 dungeons are very time-consuming, so we have discussed it, but we let go of the idea. We were looking into it, and we thought that it would be best to create new dungeons, but kind of separate out the battle against Ultimate Weapon as kind of standalone content outside of those 2 dungeons. When we do that, we will make sure that it will be trust system compatible. That's big.
A lot of work.
Yeah, that's a lot of work, but also big news. Because yeah, go on.
I like the idea of them ending A Realm Reborn with a trial, because right now it is the only expansion that does not end with a trial.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But it is the only dungeons and they're only part of the game that ends with an 8-man dungeon.
That's also true. Yeah.
That is true.
They're so unique, those dungeons. It's also weird because the Ultimate Weapon is it's basically a trial at the end of a dungeon. It's odd. So yeah, hopefully they'll do this.
I kind of wish they would just cut one of them.
Like Castrum?
Yeah, just like get rid of Castrum, or just make that one the kind of new content or the new dungeon they make or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you just go through Praetorium, because Praetorium, I think it's fine.
They need to move the Lily fight then, otherwise she'll just never die.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Also, it would make Nero the last boss of Praetorium.
Yes.
Oh.
No. Yes. No. Gaius would.
Gaius.
We still fight Gaius.
Okay, Gaius.
Yeah. Well, they can't cut Gaius out. So yeah. The trust system has been introduced in the latest expansion, Shadowbringers. Shadowbringers. This allows you to go through dungeons with a party of capable NPCs instead of other players, for those looking for a more single-player experience. Quote, we cannot say when it's happening, or it's going to be happening, but it's something in our mind, and we want to do it at some point in the future.
Well,
yeah?
We're getting the Realm Reborn, rework, so...
Yeah?
That's evidence that this will happen one day.
Yeah.
Realm Reborn, director's cut.
Yeah.
I mean, director's... yeah, the director did cut it.
Yeah. However, there is still new content to look forward to in 5.3 for existing players in the form of a new raid, in addition to other side content. But there's still one key beloved Final Fantasy XIV characters... Still one key... beloved Final Fantasy XIV character seemingly missing in action. Fan favorite Hildebrand is a rubbish detective with an incredibly fun questline. What?
How dare they?
With an incredibly fun questline that players experienced 5 years ago. But since then, he's been missing in action. Not correct. Excuse me.
Is that implying that the ones since then have not been fun?
I think it's just worded wrong. I think because it started 5 years ago, right? No, it started in 1.0. Okay, well, I don't know what it means. I don't currently know the whereabouts of Hildebrand. This is a quote, Yoshi-P. I don't know where he is. I can't go into more details here, but in 5.3 you may or may not find him, not as himself, but more like a tip or a clue as to where he might be. I would like you and all players to join together and search for clues that'll be dotted around in-game. Look out for Hildebrand, everyone.
Because I was not expecting any reference to Hildebrand in this patch.
No. There you go. There might be some Hildebrand shit in 5.3, so make sure you go look for that. With a slew of crossover content in Final Fantasy XIV, such as the new raid series that's due to be expanded, or the Evil East raid series, which contains winks and nods to Final Fantasy XII and Final Fantasy Tactics, or even the Final Fantasy XV content released several years ago, we wondered about We wondered
Last year?
Yeah. We wondered about the absence of some high-profile games that the team could have collaborated on. Yoshida says, we've had lots of feedback and lots of hopes that with the Final Fantasy VII remake that we'll do some crossover with them. It's just part one of the journey, so we need to kind of nail down all the details and flesh it out. So it may take a while. It will take time to actually make something great. That said, we are positively looking into it, and we have hopes that we want to do something with this at some point in the future. As for a Kingdom Hearts crossover, for this idea, one of the troubles is that we have to coordinate with Disney. And so I feel that there would be so many hurdles and challenges around working with them. So I try not to think about a crossover with Kingdom Hearts.
Give me the Keyblade. I want to get the Keyblade.
I'm sorry,
I want to
everyone.
get the big shoes.
Oh, no Donald minion. Damn.
I like that he's spoken about it because I don't know if he's ever touched on it before.
No. Well, that was a very good interview. Some new details there. Let's jump over to Fanbyte.
And what a bite this is.
And what a bite, indeed. Don't get too comfortable in assuming a character is safe. One of my favorite aspects of Final Fantasy XIV is its willingness to tackle themes of politics, social justice, equality, and morality. It's one of the mainline titles that addresses politics more straightforwardly, like Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy VII, and Final Fantasy XII. I ask Yoshida about how he feels the game's politics, which feels less theoretic than they did during Shadowbringers' release. In many ways... What is this sentence? I ask Yoshida about how he feels the game's politics, which feels less theoretic than they did during Shadowbringers' release in many ways, have progressed alongside our own political climate. There we go, I did it.
You did it.
It's just a really long...
Yeah.
Sentence.
It's a run-on sentence? Take a point off that one.
Human history has been rife with conflicts and wars since its inception. When writing the story scenarios, Yoshida says that what the team is trying to depict is, how do we take those conflicts and what do we learn out of it? How do we take that into the future and how do we grow from it? Sometimes those elements overlap with what's happening in the real world. Yoshida says that if you feel those kinds of themes come up while you play, if they apply to your reality, or if Final Fantasy XIV helps you with sorting your life in the real world, the team feels they are successful in what they have strived for. That mission is having our players feel something out of what we deliver in our story. Yoshida says that even with the antagonistic forces you encounter, the team works hard to create their philosophies, for they too have nuanced beliefs. One of the best examples of this is Shadowbringers' main villain, Emmett Selk. I ask him about Emmett Selk and whether we can hope to see him again. Yoshida says, I mean, I can't say that you'll never see him again, of course. I can't exactly disclose it, but we don't know. He grins. I find it hard to imagine not seeing him again, given that he's become one of the most popular characters in the series. Ishikawa, Shadowbringers' brilliant main scenario writer, is deservedly proud of striking the balance in Emmett Selk's cruelty, humanity, and tragedy. However, Yoshida says the fates of many characters in Final Fantasy XIV are pretty much already decided. A character's popularity has little bearing on their fate.
Yeah, but you're not killing Yustola.
That's true.
Shut up.
Yoshida then says, some fans bring up Horsefant, and some people say that, oh, he was killed because he was popular. And we think it's actually backward, Yoshida states. We had really fleshed out his character. We wanted to have him know what he's fighting for, what his goal was, what his stance was and everything. He was fighting for a certain cause, and that was already determined before he was even introduced in the narrative. End quote. Although Final Fantasy XIV hasn't had trouble with killing off supporting characters, one criticism among some fans is that it's a bit reluctant to raise the stakes and sacrifice some of its more prominent characters. While Horsefant is still mourned by much of the player base, his shocking death occurred all the way back in Heavensward. Several characters in Stormblood, including its major villain, had fake-out deaths. In Shadowbringers, it was only expected that Emmett Selk would die as the primary antagonist. I ask him if the team is aware of this criticism, and if, given the suspenseful trailers for patch 5.3, it's something they wanted to tackle. Yoshida says that he's often heard people make assumptions about characters and their plot armor. He uses Urianger, one of the main characters, as an example. He's seen fans believe that Urianger can't die simply because he's the holder of a quest. And to that, he says, quote, "You know, that kind of thinking, you should not have that kind of thinking." He laughs.
No.
Don't touch Urianger.
He's a nice young man.
Yeah. We don't like...
Say that. Yeah.
What? What did you say, Yuri?
28.
Oh.
Yeah, in Eorzean years.
That's
so
true.
I don't know how that works.
Eorzean years.
I think they're the same years as ours. We don't like ad-lib in terms of like, oh, this character is going to go or this character is going to die. It's not random either. At the same time, yes, people might notice that those in the core cast may not have died over the course of the story, he explains. Since Final Fantasy XIV constantly depicts wars and conflicts and battles, he says, it's unrealistic to not have any sort of sacrifices, even on the ally side. So I mean, I don't mean to scare you. This is not, by any means, a threat of any sort, but don't get too comfortable knowing that, oh, these characters are safe, because you might be in for quite a shock.
He says people might notice that those in the core cast may not have died over the course of the story. Poor Papa Lima.
Oh, God.
No one fucking remembers.
Oh, I hate that. Papa Limo. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, that's true.
I honestly forgot about him for a decent amount
Yeah,
of time.
I forgot too.
I just
I love Papa Limo, but the game is doing so much to like cover him up. Like no one's acknowledging that he even existed anymore.
You're like the Warrior of Light grieves other characters much more than they did fucking Papa Limo.
Yeah. We're in for quite a shock. Maybe. I hope he's not just referring to Graha, because that one, we can see that one coming if he dies. I mean, I don't want anyone to die. What am I saying? What is this?
Yeah, I wouldn't want
but
to.
if he's
I want
gonna
people to die. There needs to be stakes.
I agree.
Thancred dies for real this time.
I agree.
Back then.
After Papa Limo died, when people still remembered him, I felt like there were more stakes because it felt like no one's safe. No one's safe. But it's been a while since Papa Limo died. Now no one remembers him.
But the thing about him was like, he just wasn't around for a long time. And then he shows back up and the camera's like angled kind of weird sometimes at him. Yeah. And then you're like, why
they wanted to make Ida sexy, so they had to change her name and remove the little Lalafell following her around. That was why he died. They wanted the bub.
I don't know if I would phrase it that way. I mean, Ida was wearing just like the Huron pantalettes.
That's true. That's true.
I would also phrase that they wanted to make Ida into a completely different character, so they had to detach her from Papa Limo.
They had to remove... Papa Limo died for Lys. Can't think of a worse thing to die for in before all the angry Lys White Knights come at me. Come at me! Come at me! Okay.
I think I would like Lys more than Papa Limo, to be honest.
See, the thing is, Papa Limo died before I had time to really like him again. Because he was... He had a very annoying voice for the longest time. And like, he was just annoying. But then they changed his voice actor and then they killed him. Just when I'm like, Papa Limo was getting good. And then gone. Gone just like that. Rest in peace, Papa Limo.
So rip E.
E for Papa Limo. Okay, moving on. Final Fantasy XIV's community is incredibly passionate and diverse, a fact that will only become more true as the game continues to bring in new players. Its reflection of that diversity through the freedom it gives to its players has always been one of my favorite aspects. I know that that inclusivity is something Final Fantasy XIV tries to tackle with sincerity, evident through features like the game's ceremony of eternal bonding. This is the game's marriage system, which allows you to marry anyone regardless of your character's gender. As of earlier this year, the ceremony's wedding attire is no longer tied to your gender, meaning that you can wear a tuxedo or a dress whether you're playing as a man or a woman. However, if you want to change your gender in Final Fantasy XIV, you still have to pay real money for a Fantasia potion, the item that allows you to change your character's appearance. I ask Yoshida about whether this and opening up more avenues of self-expression are things the team is looking into. With his answer, he takes a while to formulate all his thoughts. Rather than someone doing their best to avoid saying something clumsy or offensive, he comes across as a director who recognizes the weight of the trust Final Fantasy XIV's community has placed in him and who wants to be respectful. He doesn't pass on the question, undermine the importance of the subject, or do anything less than consider it carefully and thoughtfully. In the end, he offers a different perspective from that of the World of Warcraft team. Quote, "By no means do we want to criticize anybody or say that, well, this has got to be the way, but so with anything that you change, like your hairstyle or putting in a collar contact, something that's more instantaneous." Huh?
Okay, so I cut out a bit that said something that was talking about how in World of Warcraft you can just go to like the equivalent of an esthetician currently,
right. Okay,
and change your gender.
It's something that you change all the time, Yoshida begins. But gender is such a sensitive topic because this is not something that's instant. That's why people are very proud of what they identify with, and they try to live their lives to their fullest to express themselves and the gender that they identify with. And so, do we want to treat this in a casual manner? Yoshida clarifies this is completely his personal opinion and that it's something many people, including members of the team, are largely torn on. But he feels uncomfortable with the notion of something that is akin to flipping a switch. He worries that by allowing for more freedom, it might actually take the issue a bit too lightly. It's something he continues to think about as both a game designer and a person for the future of Final Fantasy XIV. Well, there you go.
My opinion on this is that even if Yoshida thought that you should be able to change your character's sex or gender whenever you wanted, Square Enix ain't gonna let that happen.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool. I think
it would be cool as well.
But it's essentially a pre-Fantasia, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's no, like if you flip the gender switch or dial or knob...
Yeah, you wouldn't...
Like, you would just be... this opposite preset that you picked, or like
I don't think that would work with the.
It would just have to
game.
be a full, like full character creator again, is what I mean.
If you, no, if you switch gender in the character creator now, your character's going to look very different because it doesn't have the same presets as.
Yeah.
So you'll get a completely different looking character. It'll be just
strictly on gender, though. I mean.
Yeah. So I don't think the game can do that right now.
It would just have to be a full on make the character again.
Yeah. Which is a Fantasia, and they already earn money on Fantasia.
They would need to expand out the functions of the esthetician.
Yes. Yeah.
I think it'd be cool. I mean, if they could make it possible.
I mean, I think all of us think it would be cool, but I think that Square Enix thinks it would be very uncool because they would be losing out on their approximately, like, how much was it, Lakil? It's like 10 USD per Fantasia?
Yeah. And think about how many Fantasias are bought in a day.
I think we're overthinking this. People are right. You could just change the pronouns.
That's true.
That would be fine.
That would be
I
fine.
Think people would like that.
That would be fine, but I don't think that's exclusively what he's talking about here. I think he is talking about appearance as well.
Yeah. The pronoun thing could easily be switched in the. They could find a system to change that easily. Yeah.
I think we were just kind of.
Yeah, we were overthinking. I was thinking more of the technical side of the creator, like changing your actual character. Okay, right. Okay. Ultimately, I used my last question to circle back to the present and ask him about the upcoming dungeon, the Hero's Gauntlet. He compared it to one of my absolute favorite dungeons, Stormblood's The Gimlet Dark. Quote, you have the players as the warrior of darkness who saved the realm of the first. And so now the people of the first come together to help. Yoshida shares. It's going to feel like a lot of things that the player was involved in throughout the story connect in this content. Of course, it's an instance dungeon, but as you fight through this dungeon, you'll see. The scenario is going to get really exciting as well, so perhaps it might be nice to take your trust NPCs to go in there and enjoy the story. Before wrapping up our chat, he teases, there's a sort of hidden feature, so to speak. So, once everything is settled down, you might want to try to see what that is.
So I don't know what this means. Is it related to what he just said? Or is it completely unattached to that and there's just a hidden feature in this patch?
That's interesting.
Okay.
I don't know what that is.
We'll try our best to dig.
Once everything is settled down, you might try to... Okay, interesting. All right. Last interview. Where are we on time? Okay, we're fine. We're good.
I think we can do this. I will quickly answer something in chat.
Yeah.
Regarding people, if you think that there aren't people that spend $1,000 on Fantasias, trust us. We know someone that spends $1,000 on Fantasia.
Eric. Wait, Nat?
I love how you just called out the wrong person.
I always get them confused for some reason.
All right.
I also like that you called them out when I specifically went out of my way not to do that.
All right. Okay. Anyways, moving on. Last interview is from GameSpot. Final Fantasy XIV, the future of its story, butts, and most lovable character. Okay, I'm just going to jump into this. We know that the Reflections in Crystal 5.3 update is concluding the Shadowbringers arc. Can you speak more broadly to how you're transitioning from Shadowbringers and leading players into what's next for the story? Yoshida says, as you're aware, we've done 3 expansions at this point now. Heavensward, Stormblood, and Shadowbringers. And with the previous 3.3 and 4.3 patches, we depicted the conclusion of each of those corresponding story arcs. But of course, with the Shadowbringers storyline, the stage is in a completely different realm. It is a departure of a goodbye... it's a departure or a goodbye that we'll be saying to that story. And because we were very thorough in depicting that aspect of it, I think you will feel that sense of conclusion for sure. In Shadowbringers, there's a secondary theme that the team had in mind, which was to reintroduce the members of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, our heroes. Players got that feeling of having these characters as your allies, properly joining forces with them as the Warrior of Darkness. Through the narrative, the team definitely paid extra attention to depicting the way the Scions live, think, and face certain problems within their travels. By departing from the first, and with each of the members of the Scions saying their goodbyes, we're definitely depicting those moments very thoroughly as well. Of course, that will make the volume of content really hefty. It's going to be pretty long, so we encourage players to enjoy it. Take your time to get through it and experience that conclusion, and see how each of these characters say their goodbyes. At the same time, yes, as you mentioned, we will be transitioning into the next storyline. That's going to be presented like boom at the end. We hope that the first day the patch launches, players would first take the time to play through that main scenario. People saying goodbye? Characters will say their goodbyes. What does that mean?
From
the first?
Yeah.
They've been there for a long time. They've made some deep connections.
Yeah, that's true.
Thinker's been there for 5 years at this point.
That's true. Yeah. And then, of course, no surprise that the next part of the storyline will be at the end of the MSQ. That's how all of the MSQs in the 0.3 patches end. Yeah. Next question. Are we going to be in Garlemald soon? We've seen a little bit of it in story moments with Estinian and Gaius, but are we going to start seeing more and actually going there? Yoshida says, in that aspect, I think we'll be able to go against players' expectations in a good way. Again, Content that's coming in the patch 5.3 series. There's the Sorrow of Wurlit, the latest installment in the Weapon series, where you're actually fighting against the forces of the Garlean Empire. In Save the Queen, the Bosnian Southern Front is an upcoming instance that really touches upon the Garlean Empire. Of course, it's not quite the main story, but it's a pretty significant story. By playing through this content, it will arouse that curiosity in players like, what's going to happen next? So in addition to the main scenario, I think those two playable pieces of content are definitely something to look out for. I worry. I worry immediately. Are we not going to Garlemald in the next story?
Well, I think we should ask ourselves here. Do you guys want to?
Yes.
I'm more lukewarm now on that. Are they doing it on purpose? They're feeding us like Garlemald content in the side stories, so the hype is sort of being dragged out of the main story. I'm like, I feel less and less pull towards Garlemald because I'm being like fed all this Garlemald story by the side stories. I don't know. I don't feel it that strongly anymore. I'd be okay not going there.
I still think it could be a fun setting. I was surprised to see a lot of people like not very interested. I guess because we've been fighting them a lot, which I understand the fatigue there.
Yeah.
I'm like reinvigorated to go to Garlemald because of the fact they've been so uninvolved with the Shadowbringers plotline. After Stormblood, I was actually pretty uninterested in going to Garlemald.
Yeah.
We can go to Garlemald and somewhere else next expansion.
It kind of
be two places. It could be a split story.
Don't even dare propose that.
No, thanks.
They can do it right this time. They can figure it out.
I wonder if like the next, because we have a lot of land that we still haven't explored. There's Stavnir, there's all of the Dalmascan territories, there's the New World, there's Mericidia. There are so many places they can go other than Ilsabard. Or we can even go to parts of Ilsabard, but not like Garlemald.
Right at the gates.
Yeah, because I still think they still struggle with the idea that Garlemald is a massive force. It's in a civil war right now, which has weakened it, but we still see them like they are still very strong. Like from what we've seen in the Bosnia front lines. They're still they're doing it. They're holding up still.
They still just got ultimate weapons just lying around.
Yeah. So I wonder if they're holding off Garlemald because it is so difficult to resolve it, considering its might still.
Well, I think that's the whole point of having them go into a civil war. Which is where I think things are leading up.
Yeah. But
so they aren't a focused force.
I just don't like the fact that going against players' expectations, makes me worried.
They're gonna make up a new continent. It's gonna be like cowboy country. Everyone's a cowboy.
Yes.
Sounds like the new world.
That sounds like the new world,
yeah.
Rollo.
It's cowboy world.
Yeah.
It's gonna be called now.
Okay. This next question has to do with the end of Shadowbringers. So spoilers for the end of Shadowbringers. I don't know why I'm saying this. Next question has to do with the end of Shadowbringers when the Crystal Exarch calls in heroes from other realms. My impression is that this is going to have major implications for where the story will go. Can you speak to whether or not you're going to be playing on that theme anytime soon, or if that's going to have implications as we make it to the next expansion? What did you say?
I just giggled.
Oh. With that scene in Shadowbringers, with that scene in Shadowbringers where you have those 7 other heroes called in to surround the player in that scene, it's actually a theme that has existed since The Realm Reborn. People have been asking, who are these 7 people besides me? The development team was thinking, well, maybe we should come up with an answer. But we also made it so that players can still use their imagination on theories about who and what these heroes are. What? We still want to have players speculate, first of all.
I definitely had canon them as my entourage. So.
Okay, right.
My adoring fans.
Then there's another aspect of people speculating or wondering, because it has been a mystery. Who is the Warrior of Light, him or herself? the player. The Warrior of Light and their identity or who they are is not clear either. So that's something that we want to take another step into just shedding a little bit of light, so to speak. Maybe give that glimpse of, oh, perhaps could it be this or that, and dig a little deeper into the true nature of the Warrior of Light. So that's another thing to be looking out for.
We are the 12.
Yes, we are the 12.
I hope we're getting who we are.
Yeah. Leading into Shadowbringers, you told people to play the Crystal Tower raid series, and with a new patch, it'll be required. Is there any other piece of content that you can point to that players should play in anticipation of what's coming next, like you did with Crystal Tower and Shadowbringers? Yoshida says, having the Crystal Tower as part of the required content for Shadowbringers, it's something that the team was torn on, and I had to think about whether or not we really wanted to put this in there. But just the fact that the narrative tied in so closely to the main scenario, it was such a core element of the story. And plus, it's not a very difficult dungeon to get through. That's why for Shadowbringers we felt that it was okay to have it tied into the main scenario. Now, other than that, all of the content is created so that they connect with each other, no matter when you play it. It doesn't matter at what timing you tackle any content within 14. But specifically speaking, for if you've already finished Shadowbringers, then go to the Interdimensional Rift for all the Omega raids, and then do the Alexander raid series. You might see the connections between different elements you play through and in the story. Conversely, sometimes you do some of the raids first and then connect to the main story, and you see that the narrative actually flows naturally into each other. We made it so that you can tackle it from whichever side you please. Yeah. We don't intend on specifying certain content to be mandatory before getting into certain parts of the story, but again, I think it might be nice to go through the Alexander and Omega raids. You don't have to do the Savage content, but maybe having those two under your belt may help with getting the gist or having a much richer understanding and enjoyment of the overall world and lore. Oh, and of course, you can totally take your time on this, but it might be a good idea to get a refresher on Heavensward.
Oh.
Interesting.
That's interesting.
Interesting.
Why?
The Moogle quests.
So that's interesting because we're about to change story now. Like the story is about to change.
Mm.
Why is he telling us to refresh Heavensward? What could we possibly? Oh my God, Mericidia. Is it like a subtle hint of we might go to Mericidia? That would make me very excited.
Dragons. I thought we left them behind.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, dragons.
Yeah.
Dragons, because Maila's not here.
Because it can't Mon's memoirs.
Doesn't like dragons.
I think dragons are. Well, I'm very sick of.
I'm talking about Rollo.
Oh, sorry, you cut out. Yeah, Rollo hates dragons for some reason.
I just a lot of times they're very boring in most fiction. They're interesting in 14, probably the more interesting dragons, but just
they're fucking aliens, Rollo.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's interesting. I don't want to see any more dragons.
It is interesting that this is happening also when they extend the free trial up to Heavensward.
Charlene stuff. You gotta brush up on all the.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of Charlene stuff in Heavensward too.
Yeah.
The plot thickens. Okay, well that's interesting. That kind of gives us an idea of maybe where we're going next. Okay. Since we've had some time with the Crystal Exarch, he's become many players' favorite character, myself included. Tell me about what it was like to create the Crystal Exarch, and what made you want to make him such an endearing and lovely character.
Sorry.
Make a boy so precious.
Why didn't you make him just a massive asshole?
Yeah,
Why did you
yeah.
choose to?
Why did you make me like him? When we were creating the Crystal Tower content as the Alliance raid way back when, we never imagined we were going to use this character in such a storyline, and we didn't have it planned at the time. So we had this character of G'raha Tia sealed off in the Crystal Tower with his blood. With his blood, thank God they left him in there with his blood. And he mentions how he will sleep within the tower until the Crystal Tower could be used for a much greater purpose. We had thought the character arc ended, and we closed it off at that point. There were considerations and discussions that if there was a case where we had to reset 14 in our expanding of the game and whatnot, whether he would reuse the character or not. We would reuse the character or not. But nothing was really set in stone. If we had to reset Final Fantasy XIV in our expanding of the game, that has been brought up. Reset.
Huh?
If we had to reset Final Fantasy XIV in our expanding of the game, they're literally talking about a cataclysm, like a Dalamud 2.0 event. But nothing was really set in stone. When we were depicting G'raha Tia, he was just this young man who's so enamored by the thoughts of adventure, having such reverence for the hero, the warrior of light. He expresses how much he wanted to be one himself and to be an adventurer, just like in the stories he read in his youth. Just having that pureness of heart, for sure, that's one of the characteristics that really stood out. Once it did go to rest within the Crystal Tower, his popularity became much greater. So years passed, and then we were thinking about how we depict the story in Shadowbringers. Of course, with any sort of 14 content, we want to make sure that it's connected with the rest of the world. So in that process, we thought, oh, maybe we can utilize this concept. I think that was the impetus of having the Crystal Exarch. But of course, his adventure has not concluded just yet. Our players have not seen where Crystal Exarch goes from here. I have, but we still haven't. I have, but we still haven't seen it. Once players do, I think there'll be another discovery.
One interesting thing about making Crystal Tower compulsory for 5.3 and onwards is they can actually refer to the Exarch by name as G'raha.
Yeah.
Because up until this, any voiced line referring to him calls him the Exarch.
Yes. Yeah. Interesting.
You think at like the start of 5.3, there's just like a check, like they just look down, like, did you complete it?
Yeah.
Okay, call me G'raha.
I assume if you haven't done it by now, the MSQ will just be like locked out until you complete it.
Yeah. Our players have not seen where Crystal Exarch goes from here. I have, but we still haven't seen it. Once players do, I think there'll be another discovery? What are these riddles, Yoshi-P?
Talk like this.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, you got me worried. That's my boy. Please don't hurt my boy.
My boy!
My boy! Yeah, he's young at heart. And it's not about romantic feelings, love, or crushing on the Warrior of Light. It's just very simple and pure. He just wants to go on an adventure alongside your character. He has this straightforward reverence for him or her. That's the personality of the Crystal Exarch and what shapes him. I think that's one of the reasons why players have such an affinity for Crystal Exarch and just take a liking to him. When we were considering bringing back G'raha Tia, the team wanted to just tell him good morning or just great seeing you and wake him up again. I hope you do get to see 5.3 with your own eyes, and from the trailer, I'm sure a lot of people may be shouting and screaming, but I mean, just please see it through. The Shadowbringers story is Crystal Exarch's story as well.
That sounds like a threat almost.
Yeah.
I hope you do get to see 5.3 with your own eyes.
Unless I steal them.
Hopefully nothing happens to you between now and 2 weeks from now.
I could die at any moment. No.
The trust system has really helped me connect with a lot of the characters, and now you've had an entire expansion and set of patches incorporating the trust system. How do you feel about having to implement it? Are you in a good mode? Are you in a good mode where it's now part of the natural content creation process, or are there still things that you want to tweak? Yoshida says, I think we still have yet to bring it to a level where it can be applied more generally, so to speak. Right now, of course, we have really talented game designers, people with really high-level skill building these instances. They actually create unique individual moves per instance dungeon for characters and put different movements and create algorithms for these. Of course, the development team loves the concept of the trust system, and the people creating these love the story as well, so they really enjoy working on it, which is great. But there's only so many people that can work on creating these trust systems to make compatible with dungeons. We would like to evolve the system so that it can be applied more generally and not have to be a top game designer in order to create these. And maybe to the point where we can look at some of the previous dungeons, like those in A Realm Reborn, such as Praetorium, or some of the other dungeons to be able to take our NPCs in there. Of course, it's not the easiest of tasks, but it's something that we do want to strive for, because we feel that if we are able to accommodate for the use of the trust NPCs in all of the dungeons, I'm sure we'd be in a really great position.
I feel as if... So, in the past, we've sort of wondered why are we only getting one dungeon per patch? I feel as if this is the explanation.
Yeah.
It's the time they would have used to make the dungeon is now spent on, like...
Trusts.
Like, creating the AI for the trusts to go through the singular dungeon they make.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah. I want trusts in Sestasha, please. We're gonna go trigger that fate, that hidden fate in Sestasha.
Yeah. Fate completed.
Yeah. I got a cape, Odin's cape. I have to ask about something that my free company wants to know, and I wanted to give them a shout out. This is a shout out, I guess. This is a shout out to the Giant Bomb Vinco free company on Ultros. That's my squad. What I learned is that they're all about glamour. So 2 questions. Are there any changes that you're looking at or want to make in terms of refining the glamour system? And also, considering the controversy around the 2B outfit and the size of players' butts, is there going to be a butt size slider? Please, you didn't.
Stop.
Why did you ask? Oh, why did you ask?
You could have just been like, any new options for any glamour? This is...
All right. So, to answer your first question, and this might not necessarily be the glamour system per se, but we do want to expand upon options for people who want to roleplay within the game. For example, you may recall the umbrella being implemented. We want to expand upon the fashion item category, like having stuffed animals that the players can carry, or a tray that they can hold. But just having that extra... What?
Like a butler.
Oh, I thought you said like a butt.
No, that's not what I said.
But just having that extra thing your player character do as part of your role-playing in the game, just decorating yourself, or having those add-on elements to enjoy that element of roleplay more, we do intend on expanding that some more. And before I answer the second question, there's one thing I want to say, and it's that you all really like butts, don't you?
I mean, that, like, without a doubt, of course. Like,
To be completely honest, and I'm sure you are aware of this, when we were looking at 2B's costume, there were bugs, so to speak. Of course, the bottom, has been modeled to be slightly bigger than normal. And then you saw some clipping whenever you would use the sit emote and when a character posed in certain ways. With the 2B costume, we thought it's just that one single thing, so that's fine. We'd move forward with trying to depict it accurately, so to speak. But if we were to have a slider where all of our players have the options to enlarge their behind, I cannot believe these are words spoken. We would have to look at all of our equipment, which there are thousands in the game. We would have to remake each one because we would have to anticipate some people will 100% slide their butt slider all the way to maximum Rollo, and trying to accommodate for that is physically impossible unless we implemented this physics simulation so that the model of the fabric wouldn't overlap with the model of the behind. I mean, considering how many people are being rendered on the screen at the same time, with this being an MMORPG, it's crazy. It's not feasible. Maybe, perhaps, if everybody's hardware and the specs of processing power goes up, I cannot believe, or if we had hypothetically revamped our graphics engine, it might not be possible. But unless we do that, I think it's quite difficult to accommodate. Again, it's not impossible, but if asked when it's coming, we don't know.
PS3 limitations.
I cannot believe that it's like, well, we'll look in, maybe if we upgrade our graphics engine just to accommodate for some fucking ass. Of course, So, I mean, there's one thing that I want to ask you guys. People clamor about the butt slider, but what if our current state would be your maximum size and the slider adjusts your butt to be smaller? Would people want that or not? No. That's not right, right? People just want to make it larger, right? Yes, I'm sorry. Listen, my character is a ninja and monk. We use a lot of leg power with our attack rotation, so it only makes sense that we have strong glutes. Okay. There's another point that we wanted to make. If you do adjust the butt size to be larger, it will naturally affect the way the character walks. And it would be weird to see adjusted butt size I can't believe this is the end of the interview as well. Do you see adjusted butt size not affecting the way the characters walk? Again, it might be well in the future, but hopefully maybe it will be nice to have it come true. I mean, only if 14 continues to grow and more people come to play. So for the butt slider, let's bring in more people and play more.
Please. I am begging every single interviewer out there, every fan who has a chance to ask some questions, just stop asking.
Yes.
Please. It's like every 3 months we have to do this.
Yeah. Oh.
But this wasn't a no.
No. Well,
I thought it was
I think it's a very
no.
convoluted no, but I think it's
Yeah. I just like thinking about the fact that IME was there involved in translating these interviews, so there was like 3 steps to this discussion.
Yeah. Oh fuck.
I'll have you know, by the way, I didn't even put the breast slider all the way to maximum. Okay,
Rollo, that's
so
fine.
don't go judging me.
All right, Jesus,
bragging about that.
Because he's like,
I had the option to make big boob. I only went 80% big boob. Okay,
exactly.
Rollo.
Like 60 or
okay.
65.
Okay, Rollo, that's fine. It's okay. I'm just saying, you already have a boob slider. Why is this butt slider shit that keeps popping up?
I want like a really big bubbly man ass, like.
Why?
I want to make a Highlander fucking cheeked up, like a male Highlander, just fucking cake.
Okay.
I can't remember, Lakil. Were you one of the people that was upset when they reduced the cake size of Pyramid Head in Dead by Daylight?
No. Well, I'm like,
okay.
I mean, why did they do that? If he already had the cake, why remove the cake? But I was not one of the people that were like, bring it back. Also, I don't care about Dead by Daylight's Silent Hill crossover. Okay, right. I think that's a good way to end that. If you already have cake, don't take it away.
Yeah.
So people are probably going to be like, oh, it's because 1.0 bigger ass. There has been research. The decrease in ass is so minuscule. It's like maybe 5% smaller. It is not. And also, I have seen some pictures where people have clearly photoshopped it. Like they've like made the 1.0 asses bigger and then used that as defense. So like, look at how big the asses used to be. So
I love this, like this fucking collective fantasy people had that just people in 1.0 had the juiciest.
Yeah, we just
asses.
walked around with massive cakes. Everyone's like, "Oh fuck yes!" Slapped these big bubbled butts.
Like the game fucking sucked, but God, we're cheeked up.
Okay, well,
the fact that things like underwear slots existed back then, so people are like, surely.
Yeah. Yes. So, well, okay. Well, that was that. I can't believe that was the end of everything, but we ended with ass as usual on this channel. That is all of the stuff that we got from the live letter and the following interviews. We learned some new stuff. But now it is over. Speakers of Eidolon XL, episode 205, has come to an end. Thank you all for watching. Remember to follow Speakers of XIV. No, Twitch. No, Twitter. at SpeakersXIV, twitch.tv/SpeakersOfIreland, youtube.com/SpeakersXIV, exclamation Discord in chat if you want to join our Discord server. If you're watching on demand, link will be in the description. Don't stay tuned for the post-show, because there won't be one. And we'll see you tomorrow. No, we won't.
Will we?
Shit.
Probably not.
We won't see you tomorrow. Goodbye, and have an eat. Have an eat. Bye! Yeah.